The Green Goblin's going after the Twin Towers.
My name is Nate.
My name is Mike.
And I'm Jack.
And what the hell was that?
What the hell was that?
You know what the hell was that?
That was our Thanksgiving extravaganza.
Yeah. Save for perhaps Steven's suggestion that we watch a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
All right, we watched Spider-Man 2002 by
which,
Sam
as we
Raimi.
know, is a Thanksgiving film.
It certainly is.
Yeah,
and one of the only ones really that came to my mind when I was thinking of Thanksgiving.
All right, they do indeed sit down and have a lovely Thanksgiving dinner, which goes a little bit sideways, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does Thanksgiving mean to you guys?
What does Thanksgiving mean to me?
Yeah.
It changes with time. This year, who knows? I don't know. Okay, all right. Thanksgiving to me means a day that we all get together and try to give
Gifts?
something. Gifts, maybe not quite. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Family.
Thanks.
Oh.
Family. No. Thanks for reminding me of the word. Family.
Yeah, family. Ohana.
Family.
Yeah,
yes.
I've got one of those too.
Family.
Yeah.
Give family, yes. It means to give family to me.
Give family, right? I mean, you get together with your thanks. You give some family. You eat some good food. It's like it's like the only food-centered holiday, really. At least in the contemporary American landscape. You just get together and just fucking pig out.
And nothing says family to me like my mom desperately trying to find vegan turkey at Thanksgiving time. God bless her soul. She really does put in the effort.
Nothing says Thanksgiving to me like Norman Oswald being a sexist in the hallway while MJ listens on in horror. And
100%.
Peter shits himself in the corner. Yeah.
I think
that's my scene of Thanksgiving from now on.
So true.
I feel like Thanksgiving for me has progressively every year just gotten less and less effort. I remember last year, I went to my grandmother's, as I usually do.
Right.
And nobody just bothered to cook.
Oh, no.
And so then I went to Wawa and got us turkey gobblers, and that was our Thanksgiving dinner.
Should have been Ritz crackers with turkey deli meat on top.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fucking throw them in the oven with some American cheese on top, and there's your meal. Let's
Happy
go.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You can pick some berries from the bushes out back, whatever they may be, and mash them into a sauce.
Just fucking they're like bird berries, die instantly.
Berries of the cran
Berries
variety.
of the cran. Yeah.
Cred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, no, I have no complaints. I do have to say though, I feel like Thanksgiving for me is especially nice before I go to my family's house, because in the past couple years it's just been cool, I don't have to work today, I'm just gonna hang out at the house, and then eventually it's then I have to go be social with my family.
Right.
But those hours leading up to that, phenomenal.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's I don't know. My family always does a big Thanksgiving celebration, getting as many people as they possibly can into one table. Mm-hmm. And then the politics start, and it's just all downhill from there.
Yeah, I guess
for, 5 beautiful moments. We've got just a fucking table full of food, and it's all right, well.
Yeah, I feel like I might have mischaracterized my Thanksgiving a little bit, because it's not that necessarily that my Thanksgiving has gotten less and less, there's been less and less effort put in, but more so what happened for many years is that my one side of the family would have a really big Thanksgiving dinner.
Sure.
And I would go to that and I'd eat. And then I'd go to my grandmother's, which it was a much more intimate family Thanksgiving dinner with only the immediate family members, not the whole extended family.
Right.
And there would be a turkey, and we'd do all the effort that was involved with that. But just every year, the big Thanksgiving stayed the big Thanksgiving. Nothing changed. But just every year, my grandmother is just just one less thing would be brought up to the table for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
And then eventually I was the one cooking the turkey.
Right.
And then eventually I wasn't the one cooking the turkey, and therefore nobody was cooking the turkey.
Right. First they took the stuffing, and I said nothing, for I didn't care for the stuffing.
I was the one.
Then they
making
took the cranberry sauce. And I said nothing, for I cared not for the cranberry sauce. Then they came for the turkey, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
They don't have to speak for me.
And what's interesting too is while my grandmother's Thanksgiving kind of like slowly deteriorated into nothingness,
right?
The big Thanksgiving just like went out with a bang. Where it was just like not in the sense that there was a big falling out, but it was just like every year you'd expect to go to Uncle Bill's and have a big Thanksgiving dinner. And then health complications happen, and it was like, all right, we're not hosting Thanksgiving anymore. And then that was just the end of it.
Unfortunately, the world ended.
Yeah.
So, like...
I mean, I guess that happened too.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your like Thanksgiving celebration with your family?
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
happens?
yeah, my immediate family lives in the general area, so I have I had a grandmother, 2 uncles, an aunt, but now we're down a grandmother and an uncle. So yeah, that all happened in the past year or two, and pandemic stuff. Yeah, so the next time, if all people arrive, we have 2 cousins and requisite husbands, boyfriends, and children.
If you need a stand-in uncle, I'm around.
Yeah.
My Thanksgiving plans are pretty open.
If you need a standing clown, I'm also around.
Yeah. Oh, a clown, you say?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So we'll dress you up like my uncle.
Oh, jeez. That's some heavy shit, man. Yeah, right.
It'll be crazy. My family, I'm sure it'll go over great.
I'm sure it'll go over great in any situation.
Look, I know we're all missing our good old uncle during this holiday season, so I figured.
He's right here.
Yes. And then we'll have the clown walk in first, and I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, no, that's
not
supposed to be our...
Everyone's just standing there in silence. It's like this facsimile of your uncle.
God.
It's like a fucking skinwalker.
Yeah, right, exactly. So she said Naden first. God help me.
He goes up to his a strange wife, and he's just like, honey, it's like, get the fuck away from me. It's so good to see you. Yeah, right. That go over really well.
I'm just going to assume your uncle's life.
I'll do it. Oh, it sounds great.
Right, but it's I don't know. The end of the year is just stacked with fantastic holidays.
True.
You've got fucking back to back. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and it's I don't know. I think out of those 3, it just kind of Halloween's probably my favorite of the 3. It's just the least pressure, and costumes are fun as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of fill the same role, but Christmas is just so much more stressful with the gifts and stuff.
Yeah, it certainly has a lot more pressure around it.
Yeah, Christmas certainly lets itself be known more. That's for sure. There's not a whole lot of Thanksgiving songs.
That's true. I'm sure there's a Charlie Brown special about it somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is, in all sense of the word, the middle child.
Oh, true.
Yeah, just overshadowed by the younger and the older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very true. Actually.
Yeah, because you have your month leading up to Halloween, or that's all anybody talks about with good reason.
Right.
And then as soon as November 1st comes around, it's December time, baby.
Yeah, people are putting up icicles in the fucking windows, and there's fake snow everywhere. People are putting up Christmas decorations. Oh my god.
I mean, hell, even
they just have to stack the card for all people. It's all right, let's try to have a big meal. It's all right, that's good, but not good enough. It's I don't know. I guess a parade maybe. And it's is anyone going to watch this parade? It's of a certain generation. And it's what about all the leftovers? I don't know, football. Just have football for a bunch of the day.
Football's a big one.
I mean, hell, even the second. I mean, the second Thanksgiving is over. It's all right, Black Friday sale, Christmas time.
Yeah, all right, holy shit. Grandma's getting trampled for a copy of fucking A Bug's Life on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that's what Thanksgiving is. Thanksgiving is just the moments that you can
counting down
that you can
Christmas.
bask in before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Just warding off Black Friday.
And the purge descends upon America again.
Exactly. The few moments you have left beforehand.
Yeah, people just fucking forget how to operate. Yeah.
Real people who have it plotted out will take their Thanksgiving time to get their family under the same roof, so the youngest of them can talk about the stuff they really want for Christmas, so that when the family leaves the dinner, they know what they're hunting for on Black Friday.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. I mean, it's viewers of the show might think that we're running the bit about talking about Spider-Man being a Thanksgiving movie, but truly the pivotal scene in the movie is that Thanksgiving scene where it's that's just the spirit of Thanksgiving. Awkward family conversations, shocking revelations, and fucking the uncle being sexist. happens all the time.
100%. Yeah.
This is a real slice of life moment right there.
Right.
It's like shit.
Do you guys ever think that? Because
I tend not to think in general.
That's fair. Yeah.
Personally.
So we're talking about Black Friday here, which makes me think. Do you guys ever think that in our lifetime, Cyber Monday will actually take off?
Oh, hasn't it already? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, Black Friday is like the thing,
Cyber
but
Monday? I'm getting amped up for those deals, baby. I'm fucking,
Yeah, just do you ever think that Cyber Monday will reach the pinnacle that Black Friday is?
I think that Black Friday just has a distinct advantage of just being able to go and fucking destroy an old lady at the supermarket for a toy, just really deep down awaken those carnal desires of being an awful person later at the local Walmart.
I just can't take Cyber Monday seriously.
True.
Well, you give it some time. I mean, Black Friday.
That's what I'm saying. Do you guys think I ever will?
Has the good Lord Jesus set in the standard? All
right, picture this one. Okay, you've got the technology isn't there yet, but imagine a Cyber Monday operated with virtual reality in the same way as Black Friday. So it's Black Friday, but you get to have fucking virtual reality guns or whatever.
It's like
it's
like Black Friday, but it's ramped up a notch because you can not actually kill people, but you can
postal though.
Yeah, right. If you get killed at Cyber Monday, it takes 5 minutes to respawn or whatever. So that TV you were trying to buy is just gone.
Oh my god!
Exactly. It queues up the line for the people who are on the waiting list to get an item.
Yeah.
And if you get killed, you go to the back of the waiting list. But whoever you kill next, you just jump in their front position. So you go to the back, but if you kill the person third in line, then you go third in line and they go to the back.
So it's just like a regular Walmart Black Friday sale, except people respawn.
Exactly. You get to try again until the midnight hour.
Yeah, right.
I will not rest until we make Cyber Monday a battle royale.
Oh, very true. That's just the future. That's just the future of most things.
Yeah, everything needs to be a battle royale.
Yeah, fucking buying things online.
Virtual battle royale.
Classes, I mean, fuck.
Job applications.
Job applications, very true. 100%. Who needs a social credit system when you just fight for your life?
And you could choose your morale of choice. Its first one to 100% some Guitar Hero clone.
Very true.
Yeah.
That's what Zuck's all about, man. Meta.
Yeah.
Facebook's meta, baby. It's the future.
I like that Avatar Mark Zuckerberg seems more animated and alive than real life.
I like
Mark Zuckerberg.
You guys see that fucking announcement video where he just has the barbecue sauce on the shelf next to him? It's just Jesus Christ.
There's Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on his bookshelf.
It's just the most bizarre thing ever because it's a specific fucking meme of that one time he did a live stream years ago. But it's I don't think that most people would get that if you're not terminally online. So it's his fucking audience of boomers is why the fuck is there a bottle of barbecue sauce right there?
Oh, man.
Oh, God help him.
Yeah, right. MySpace Tom just completely fucking made the right decision in getting out of there. He just travels the world. Meanwhile, Zuck just dissolves.
He's a photographer now or something.
Yeah, right. MySpace
God bless him.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the hell did we just watch?
Yeah, so if you had to describe Spider-Man from 2002 in a short phrase, a couple words, how would you do it?
I mean, it has deep hooks in my childhood, so there's a lot of that at play.
Yeah, I think mine's very similar to that. It's just for me, this is the textbook definition of nostalgia.
Well, as somebody who's seen it for the first time, I'd describe it as such. Cheese to the immaculate degree. Yeah. I don't know. That's I was trying to find the words as I went, but it's funny. It's before we watched this, I made clear this is my first time actually watching this movie. It's after months of Twitter just fucking hyping up to be the greatest movie of all time and people referencing it all the damn time online. Yeah. You guys have each seen it multiple times throughout your lives.
True. Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it once. This is my first time watching this movie, so it was it was interesting watching it for the first time with zero nostalgia for it, but a whole lot of context and kind of knowing how things are going to go.
Right.
That is interesting. You weren't necessarily going in blind despite...
Right. I mean, it's I know the entire... It's not even a hard story to understand in the first place. But, but I mean...
I don't know. It works on many levels, really.
Oh, very true. It's all a metaphor for capitalism? No, sure. Why not, right?
That's good.
But it's interesting because you can't really fucking put like Sam Raimi's like style into words outside of being like, oh, it's super kinetic and zany and goofy or whatever. It's just like if you actually sitting down and watching the movie is like way more than the sum of its like mimetic parts. Like if you've seen like all of these individual like clips and people talking about it, you're still not gonna like understand what's so great about this movie until you actually go and like watch it, which is something that I kind of came to appreciate tonight as we watch the whole damn thing, because it is like kind of fucking insane. This movie's batshit, man. It's wild.
Yeah, that's. I think you really hit the nail on the head with saying how like Sam Raimi's movies are very kinetic and like zany, but like so fucking fun though. You know, like it's just like it. That's what you love about it.
I was telling you guys before this that like I haven't seen any of the Spider-Man Raimi movies, but like recently I watched his Evil Dead 1 and 2 movies for Halloween, and those are like you can kind of get a taste for like what he's all about. Like those movies both have like insane like shots and like interesting color and like filters and just like insane like kinetic like action as well. Like in fucking Evil Dead, like the main character is being literally like thrown around and like into like furniture and shit's breaking all the time. In this movie, the exact damn same thing happens. Like you've got multiple examples of characters like not only getting like knocked across like the room or whatever, but also like once they
breaking
land,
everything. In their
breaking
path.
everything. Fucking just shit happens to him like that is just completely ridiculous. Like the one when Peter punches like the bully and he flies over through the entire crowd. Everybody gets out of the way, slides on the ground, and then bumps into like a random person holding like a tray of food and just fucking like drops like all of it and then like a thing of pudding on his face, and it's just like, get fucked, man. Like, it's just so over. I don't know, this movie's ridiculous.
True It is ridiculous, I think, to say the least. That's an understatement how ridiculous it is. Like, it's crazy.
Right.
Well, with that, I think, are we ready to hop into the plot here?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, just top to bottom.
Yeah, all right. So it starts off with something that was probably brand new to the 2000s of, that's the girl I like right there. And that guy next to him, well, that's not
That's
me.
not me. And everybody's like, that was revolutionary for 2002.
Right? Like, everybody was like...
fucking older members of the audience passed out. They're like, no way, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like people left the theater because they were like...
This is some fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
You're actually wrong about that, though. That's not where the movie starts. The movie starts with like 7 minutes of fucking CGI trailers. Spider-Man fucking flying around, DNA rearranging.
Yeah, it is a pretty long opening sequence. Then we see a hand slapping on the side of the school bus where we see the aforementioned Crush. And stop the bus! Stop the bus!
And so you just see fucking Peter Parker running next to the bus, like yelling, and everybody's like laughing at him, hooting.
Even the bus driver.
Yeah, right. Finally, MJ's like, let him on. He just comes up and it's fucking like 20-year-old like Tobey Maguire. He is not a teenager.
No.
Yeah,
like
this is
guy.
Nobody on this bus, and I mean nobody can pass as a high schooler.
Yeah, some of the students outaged the driver.
So, like one's got like a full beard.
Yeah, and it's just like, so here's the deal about fucking Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. He just consistently has the stupidest fucking look on his face the entire movie.
Yeah.
He just looks like there's just no light in the attic, no life behind the eyes, mouth agape, like just fucking...
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is that in any shot where he is not actually in the Spider-Man costume, you can guarantee that his like mouth is slightly agape and his eyes are very wide.
He looks like a dope. Like,
100%.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get it though. It's funny. It's like he's like, yeah, my life like sucks. Like, I wish I'm not cool at all. He's not like bitter about it or anything. He's
Yeah,
just, like,
surprisingly not. He's not like a, man, if only I was one of the cool kids. Like, he's actually like very like cool, or very, not very cool. He's not cool at all. He's very okay with his position,
like,
his social
it's just
status.
me. Yeah.
Right. He's kind of like, he's not going to do anything about it. He's not going to take a stand for
if he
himself.
could get the girl, that'd be cool. But otherwise, he's hanging out.
What pass are we trying now?
Well, I've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that was 5 minutes. And then I tried like 1, 3, 1, 9, 9, 7, and that's 15 minutes. So now I'm thinking I'll just try a series of 6s.
Oh, very true.
Let's see where that gets me.
All right.
And we'll see how long it goes if this is not the passcode.
Mike's trying to hack into
it's
my
15
iPad.
minutes again.
15 minutes. All right, we'll check
15
back in
minutes
15
again.
minutes.
15 minutes twice. How about that?
Yeah, put your guess for Nate's password in the comments below.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, but here's the deal, man. Like, Peter's like a fucking turbo dork, and everybody picks on him. But like, kind of deserves it. He's got like, he looks like fucking super dorky. Like he's got zero drip. Like,
and before you say anything, Jack and I both went to the math and science charter school, so we're nerds. We get the pass on.
We went
this.
to the undeniably the nerdiest school in fucking Delaware. And okay, art student. But
well, look, I'm super cool. I did theater. That's how only the most like
elite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the most
not me
people.
putting words in your mouth.
No, it's great. It's great. I like it.
Peter's just kind of like he's fucking he cannot interact normally with anybody. Like he walks around, he looks dorky, he has his like stupid glasses on, his outfit is ass. Like I don't know, it's just he literally like invites Harry later to go and talk to the girl that he like wants to get with, and then Harry's like okay, and just goes and does it, and Peter's just standing there like
and then a surprise when Harry is later dating that girl.
Right.
Which, speaking of Harry, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that following Peter being on the bus, we then have the entire class
pull up
at
to
a field trip of some type of science place where they're doing stuff with spiders and
that
not
is
really
the proper name.
that's the building.
Right. Math. Yeah, went to the nerdiest school.
And then Norman Osborn with his son Harry pulls up. He says, "Well, son, here we are at the place where they have the ciders and stuff. You want me to drop you off at the entrance? It's right over
Dad,
there."
That's embarrassing. Stop it.
Yeah. Dad, I don't want all the other kids to know how darn rich I am.
Right. Yeah, fucking God, you're so lame, Dad.
He's like, all right, well, I understand that, son. Right. And then he gets out of the Rolls Royce, and then Norman goes, "Psych, you forgot your bag. I'm going to embarrass you anyway. Ha ha ha.
Get fucked, idiot."
Yeah.
You know?
This is why I'm rich, son. This is why.
Yeah, I've been chasing.
Take notes.
Yeah, right. You're not about your bag in a literal sense. Yeah, right. He's literally like a fucking Sigma, you know. So he gets out of the car and he's the fucking Sigma dad versus the fucking Beta son. He goes up to the Alpha Beta Park and he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" And they talk about science and he's like, "I'm kind of a scientist myself." And he's like, "Yeah, he said the thing." So they go into like the Spider Institute for Spider.
Oh wait! We forgot Peter's beta move where he waves at Mary Jane, but it turns out that she's waving at her friends behind him.
Yeah,
and then he has to live with that
shame. Try to play it off.
Yeah, it's just incredible. There are so many scenes of Peter just being so unbelievably lame. It's just like, you know, fucking MJ's standing there and he just like walks up with his stupid like face, mouth open or whatever, and she just turns around and smiles and waves, and he's like, and like waves back, and she's just not waving at him, and it's just like, oh my God, Pete. You gotta figure this shit out, man. You're like, what, in high school? Like, pick up on some social cues, please. Regardless, then they go into the Spider Museum.
Then they go into the Spider Museum science place. Mm-hmm. And then we have Spider Museum science lady. And she's like, "See this, Spider?"
She was really bad. She was like the hottest character in the entire movie. She shows up for one scene and she's just like, "Yeah, here's some spiders." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
Spitting some spider facts too.
Yeah, right.
She's like, "This one, that shit jumps." And she's like, "This one, I don't remember. But this one, precognition."
Yeah, right.
And like he was talking about the tensile strength of spider's web.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And Peter, you know.
And then she's like, "Oh, and here's our 15 hybrid spiders."
Yeah, right. We've combined.
If I can highlight one of my favorite parts of this movie at all,
what's that?
Like, it's when Peter and Harry are just entering in the museum, and then like Flash and like his jock friends come up behind them. And they make fun of Peter, and then Harry's like, "Hey, lay off him." And then like one of the jock friends is like, "Or what?
Are you gonna do? Or what?"
Flash goes, "Or his dad will
fire your dad."
And then they
all high five. Yeah, right. Just like, yeah, facts.
Burn.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, your dad works for his dad. Get fucked. I mean, it's just like, I don't think it's the insult you think it is, but I mean, God his ass. Like, if they said it with such confidence, that it works.
Yeah, no.
It's nothing else. That's what it was.
God, I love it.
Right.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. You can continue. Sorry.
Yeah, but like so
God
Peter
bless.
goes up to Harry and he's like, "Oh, this one's like neato. It's like it's radical. It transforms. It's like it like they kind of like made a big deal out of like it being able to like change its like skin color
like
or whatever. It's camouflage itself,
and
then it's like you're just expecting as like a movie person with a brain, it's going to come up later and he's going to turn invisible.
Yeah, like maybe Peter will. Yeah.
It never comes up again. But like he's
he
like
get that ability.
Yeah, he tells Harry that, and Harry's like, okay, why are you telling me this? And he goes like Harry immediately heel turns and tells that to Mary Jane, and uses that to get in her pants. So it's like I don't know, it's a little bit of snakery heading between these two.
Yeah,
true. 15 genetic spiders. Wait. 14.
There's only 14 here. It's like at that point they should have shut the whole lab down.
They didn't pull the panic button at all. Like the head scientist, I don't know what they were thinking. They were like, I guess I just miscounted.
I guess our super spiders.
I guess there are 14, 15 tanks.
And she does call them super spiders. Which I wonder, like, what is the application of these spiders?
That's a great question.
Right.
Are they
just
like,
to see if they could. They were like, what happens if we just breed together all of these different spiders? Like,
it's
what
to make
then?
Really cool clothes.
Very
I like the idea that it's all part of like an underground like military operation in the same sense that they're
spiders into
weaponized spiders
into Afghanistan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very true.
Small radioactive spiders. I like to think like all the animal rights activists took away the cuter animals, so they're left with spiders. So just like, we can't do the rabbits anymore.
That was the compromise.
We can't make
about
super
spiders?
Spiders.
Yeah.
Spiders are cool, I guess.
Yeah, we'll test our shampoos on spiders. Is that okay?
And here are 15 super genetic spiders. There's only 14. Oh my god! Holy! Just freak out. Fucking shut it down! Shut it down!
Shut up! But I seriously, I forget. They don't even like address it. She's just
she's like, huh?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Guess we only had 14.
I thought there were 15. There's 15 tanks there, but whatever.
And so then the rest of the group kind of starts to mosey on away, and then Peter's like,
Peter
Mary
makes his
Jane,
move.
can I take your picture? And she's like, okay. And then he starts taking pictures of her, and
for the school paper. And she's like, she's popping
paper,
poses, like she's being very cute about it. And Peter's like taking pictures, and it's just he's like quivering as he does it. He's like, oh, it's really great. It's like.
Yeah, he's got.
Something tells me those pictures are not being used for what he says they're being used for.
Yeah, what? I need a picture of you and the spiders for the school paper, right. And by "and the spiders" I mean not that.
Hey, Peter, how's that article coming out? The spiders article?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, any day now.
And then, as Peter's taking his phenomenal pictures, a certain spider that perhaps has been missing starts to mosey its way down. Second time I've used mosey.
It's a great word.
Well,
it's top.
We all get locked in our own language.
Yeah, right.
So it starts moseying on down.
Okay, buddy.
And finds a nice little platform to stand on, being Peter's hand.
Peter's hand.
And then it gives him a nice little chomp. Right. And Peter's like, shit, that hurt. And then the spider crawls away.
He crawls away. He doesn't stomp on it. He's like
never to be seen again.
And Peter's not like, hey, a strange colored spider just bit me in the hand.
Yeah, right. And it happens to be missing.
Yeah. Wait, didn't you just say one of the super spiders is gone? I just got bit by a spider. But no, none of that.
Peter's too busy ogling this girl that doesn't know he exists. So, it's like...
Right. It's like, I hope my photos turned out. I hope that bite didn't ruin my shot.
Yeah, right.
And then I don't even think anything else even happens on the trip. He's just like... Well, I think at that point, then we see Aunt May and Uncle Ben at the home. And Uncle Ben's like... I'm laid off, and I don't understand computers.
Yeah, this is the first of his 3 scenes of dialogue. He says he lost a job and he can't understand computers. Even the computers need analysts now.
I can't even believe it.
Right.
How far will these things go?
Yeah, right. If only you knew Uncle Ben. You got off at the right time, pal. If this is too far for you, then dying now is the right move.
Yeah, 2002 computers too advanced. That's
you have no idea. Aunt May literally told him to learn to code, so she's right for it. Yeah.
You see, Ben, you could just get ahead of this. There's this great website, Code Ninja.
Code Ninja.
Sponsored by Code Ninja.
Sponsored by Code Ninja. Right.
And so then Peter comes in the door, and he's walking like a zombie.
Right.
And Uncle Ben's like, "Hey, champ," and he's like, "I'm going to bed." And then he
"You're not my dad!" You know? Yeah, and then he's like, fucking falls asleep on the floor.
Yeah, and then he just like dies.
Right, he's like seeing fucking hallucinations, DNA reforming, skulls flashing. Like,
skulls, the fucking skulls.
Right, yeah.
I love him.
And
got
then
this massive fucking boil on his hand. And it's like, ow.
Yeah.
At some point, we have Norman Osborn in his lab, and we have a U.S. general man who's like, "Norman, is your super soldier serum ready?"
Yeah,
and he's
right.
like, "Yep, absolutely." He's like, "Well, I hear differently from that
scientists
egg."
agree, but
it's just
no.
like it cuts to the scene of like these fucking like army guys and scientists standing around like the Green Goblin guy, or the Triple G for short, and he's just like wow, like everyone is impressed except for the general. He's like, "I've already seen this thing like 5 times, you know, I've got a stick on my ass and I want results, damn it." And, you know, fucking Willem Dafoe walks out and he's just like, "It's me, Willem Dafoe. We've got your super serum coming right up." And it's like, this general hates him for no reason. He just like actively wants to see him fail. Like, and I don't think it's ever explained at all. He's just like, "I fucking hate this guy." So it's just kind of strange. But like the general's like, "Yeah, so we need the super serum ASAP." And this guy tells me it's not ready yet, so it's your ass if it's not, buddy.
Exactly. I got somebody else who's fucking like rearing to go on this contract, so fucking
Norman's
pony
like,
up,
most
buddy.
of my scientists say it's completely ready for human
9
testing.
out of my 10 guys.
Except for like Tom here.
Yeah,
and then
right.
the general's like, "What do you say, Tom?" And Tom's like, "The whole thing needs to go back to formula."
Right.
And then Willem Dafoe turns around and is like, "Back to formula?"
You're embarrassing me in front of the general, man. Like, he's so wrong for that. Like, just,
I know.
man.
Can you imagine if like
I said that just during the movie? That's like the one like doctor that doesn't agree with like toothpaste or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
exactly. That's
fucking-
like. Can you imagine if like toothpaste stuff was like that, where it was like, well, this guy didn't like it, so we got to go back. Like,
yeah, right.
Well, look, that one guy
I was right.
seems to be the guy that we should be listening to.
Yeah.
Well, that
unfortunately.
I wonder what the deal with the other 8 guys were, because apparently 9 out of 10, I assume one of those being Norman, and then the other one being the guy who we know is opposed to it. Right. I wonder what everybody else's stake in this was. That they were like, it's fine with me.
It's because they all have adequate understanding that their funding's going to get pulled if they don't start human testing.
That's
so
fair.
Shut up, God! In front of the general.
And that last guy has a job secured at a competing company.
Yeah.
So when Oscorp goes down, he just jumps ship.
Right. So
the exoskeleton crew across the way.
So
Yeah,
now
I suppose
Osborn is just under some intense pressure or whatever to perform. You know.
Yeah.
So that's his lead into the next part of his arc. But Osborn's like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna do it myself. I have no time. I'm under pressure. Like, we can't find like. You know, we can't really do this properly with like an actual, volunteer or whatever. So I'm just gonna do it on myself. I volunteer.
And Negative Doctor is just like, we can't. No, man.
They're just alone in the lab, like at night or whatever. And Osborn's just like, I'm gonna do. He's like,
sexual tension is high.
Yeah, very true. And so Osborn like just sits back in like the hydraulic fucking like lock chair.
Yeah.
He takes a shot too. Right?
Yeah, just like
Yes,
way too
yes,
way too many steps for this thing.
Yeah,
way more
right.
than there need to be.
He like takes the what does he say when he takes the shot of
It's like a special chemical compound that like will have his body interact appropriately when the vapor starts to be inhaled.
Yeah, no,
by him
but
or
what does he
something.
say? He
It's
says
like,
something like,
fuck,
50 million years of human evolution,
this spiel.
Yeah, that.
all gone in an instant.
Yeah,
or something
right.
Like
Yeah,
that.
or it's
No,
like
and
we've barely begun to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Potential of man or
Right.
something.
Yeah,
right?
something along those lines.
Something completely fucking
Something
unhinged,
profound.
Something profound, a little bit unhinged. Like, yeah, man, for sure.
Sure.
So he like he takes the shot and drops the fucking beaker on the ground and shatters, and it's like, okay.
As one does.
One does, and he like just lays back on like this fucking like torture chamber rack thing and like
really
locks
is.
him in, and it like slides back into the chamber and then like hydraulically lifts him up, and it's just like I see no reason as to why he couldn't have just gotten in the chamber and like, gotten locked in already.
They have to spend that budget or they'll get less next season.
Oh, very true. Like,
I
they gotta spend it on something.
Yeah, so then he then Negative Doctor goes and hits some buttons, and it makes the fart gas come in.
Yeah,
and Norman's like,
yeah, right. negative doctor's like, oh fuck, like
Norman. And so he turns it off, and then he gives the worst chest compressions I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Norman flatlines instantly. Like he just dies, and it's like the other guy is just like, he's like, oh my god, and he's like doing like really bad CPR to him, and then Norman's heart restarts, and there's this like incredible shot of his eye just like just opening, and he's just like just grabs the guy by the throat and just fucking chucks him.
Not before saying back to formula.
Back to formula, and just chucks him, and fucking that guy dies instantly and explodes probably because it's a Sam Raimi movie.
And then he does the first instance of the goblin laugh and stance
on the windowsill. Gets into a full squat.
Yeah,
that's Peter's alarm going off and him waking up.
Yeah, Peter wakes up and he's just like chattified. He's gone. That probably awakes someone's like transformation fetish of like, oh my god, he doesn't need his glasses anymore. He like just
fucking ripped all of a sudden.
Like he's got a bigger dick. His grandma comes downstairs like, Peter, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing fine, Aunt May. It's like, looks down at his crotch and smiles. Like, yeah, it's the 2000s.
Yeah, a lot of
Let's go, baby. A lot of changes.
Big changes.
And then he looks out the window and sees the bedroom of his crush Mary Jane. And thank God, she's just hanging out, and it's not anything overly creepy, which could otherwise be implied.
A long time.
But it's kept PG.
It's kept PG, but it's also just like this guy. I mean, Peter's kind of a creepo. Not really. It's never. Nothing ever is like implied about that.
But he could be.
He super duper could be. And Uncle Ben has never given him the great power, great responsibility line. You can apply that to that window. Like he's got a lot of power over that situation.
And so then Peter goes down the steps, and he's clearly feeling a lot more peppy than he did when he was coming in from the field trip. And he then dirties the walls up.
He fucking just like runs along the wall. Like it's like, what the fuck is your problem?
And then I think Uncle Ben's like, hey, buddy, you feeling better? All right, cool. Don't forget, you're going to help me paint the kitchen after school today.
You're not my fucking dad, okay? Like,
yeah, and he's like, all right, Uncle Ben, bye. Doesn't he like miss the bus again or something? And get like stuck to it or something.
That's right.
But anyway, he's at school again, and it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. The greatest period of the day, honestly.
Oh yeah,
true.
And he's eating his food and looking at his hands and fidgeting his fingers, I guess.
I remember high school.
Right. Yeah, and Mary Jane walks past him, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Hi.
But she doesn't notice the orange juice on the ground when she walks past.
That's right.
Yeah, right. To call back to the earlier scene of like the spider laboratory, it's just like, yeah, these spiders have precognition or some kind of spider sense. Like, facts. So he has an instance of that, and Mary Jane slips and he catches her. And that's like leads way to the greatest like physical stunt of the entire movie, where like the fucking tray goes up in the air and they catch all the shit on it, and it's like, yeah, it's cool.
Brilliant. Yeah, hell yeah.
Tobey
Maguire gets an A+ for that.
Yeah, right. It was all done practically, and that's the worst kept secret of cinema history. Like, it took 100, 200, 300
Yeah, like
times.
I think literally all four of us who were watching it, because Evan joined in, we were all like, well, you see,
actually. 300 times.
But so then Peter's then eating his lunch, and then he happens to make a certain hand gesture that causes a certain web-like fluid to sprout from his wrist into somebody's lunch tray on the table ahead.
Yep.
And Peter has a judgment call to make here. He's in this situation. He's got the string attached from his wrist to someone's tray across the room, and he's just like there. And he's got like multiple things he could do, and he just makes the worst possible fucking choice of all and just yanks his arm back.
Full force,
Full force,
That's
yanks
incredible.
That shit, chucks
And
the food.
who else is sitting behind him than his bully, less, who is like
Thompson.
dating MJ, I guess.
At the current time, yes.
Yeah. And then he's like, Parker, I'm gonna.
Well, he's just like fucking in disbelief, covered in like shit, and Peter just like without a word just gets up and just speed walks out. And
he's like dragging the tray along him with the web.
Yeah, right, and just like fucking closed the door behind him. It's another instance of like great like fucking comedy where he's just like the tray is just like being pulled against the door, like clank, 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 because he's like stuck. This is like a great time to talk about like the look of this movie, because it's like it's just in this high school setting. I don't know. There's like all the colors like really like vibrant vibrant and like just early 2000s. It feels like it's a very colorful movie. It feels
100%.
like the fucking same vibe as like the early 2000s like live action Scooby-Doo movies.
Right.
Like, colorful.
I hadn't thought about that. You're totally right though.
Yeah, oh my god, we should watch those.
A little bit. Those are really fucking nostalgic to me. I'll watch those in a heartbeat. But it's just like everyone's wearing like these fucking colorful ass clothes and like it's early 2000s to a fucking T.
Right.
There you go. Which is honestly one of the movie's like, greatest like strengths of my mind. It's just really well directed too. So,
definitely.
There's very much a brightness to it. 100%.
Right. It feels like a comic book is what it
does.
It feels like the drawings of a comic book are like coming to life.
Yep.
So,
yes, then Flash is like, Parker, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm gonna skin your fucking face and rip your guts out
and wear your face like a mask.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna rip off every single finger and toenail and shove them up your fucking ass, you ingrate.
And then MJ's like, Flash, stop.
Flash, stop it. Stop. And, Peter's just standing there. He fucking corners him. Just the entire school is like just surrounded there. And Flash is just, fuck Peter, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. You don't want to fight me, or I don't want to fight. What is it that he says? It's something like
Peter's like, I don't want to fight you. He's like, I wouldn't want to fight me neither.
Fight me neither. Yeah. So Flash just starts like throwing punches, and
Peter's using his newfound precognitive abilities to dodge
every single one of them.
Spider sense, please.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Come on.
Precognitive ability, spider sense, tomato.
Right. So he dodges all the shots.
Speeder sense.
Fuck you.
So real. And it's just like, this is also a really good time to like talk about like all the extras in the background of these scenes. Like they're just like some of the most fun you'll have in this movie is just like looking at the fucking people in the backgrounds like react to things and like just goof around. Like, so I think Sam Raimi just went and found like the goofiest possible extras to throw into this fucking movie.
I was just like, make it as cartoony as you can.
Yeah,
please.
right. Yeah, just be zany. Do something stupid in the background that like is just entertaining.
Right. And
no one's ever gonna probably like 10% of the audience is gonna notice it, but like it's gonna be appreciated.
And that 10% will love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Flash starts throwing punches. Peter dodges all of them, and then like one of Flash's goons gets in, and Peter like does a backflip over his head and shoves him or whatever. It's like he's fucking kicking ass. That goon does Flash pretty wrong there. He's just like, I don't want to do this, and like dips. And it's like, man, just no honor between thieves. Like, it's ridiculous.
And then Flash gets a good old
a Parker
fist
punch
to the chest and goes flying, as Jack mentioned earlier, flying across the entire hallway, skids several feet, and then has a full lunch tray dumped on his head.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's like, that's the thing about this movie. People aren't just like fucking punched in this movie. When they are like, when somebody is hit with something, Raimi has them fly across the room, fucking slide in the ground, and have like just other shit fall on top of them. Like, this Flash gets like a tray of food and then like a thing of pudding directly on his face for like a half a second. It's just like, it's incredible.
And I honestly we kind of joked about this, but I honestly can't really tell what like his classmates' response to this is. Like, I can't tell if it's a like or like, oh god,
Jesus.
Like it's definitely a very like, the line is towed very heavily. I think.
Yeah, this was like post Columbine, right? Like they're like, this guy's gonna go fucking ape shit.
Post Columbine.
1999, right?
1999,
yeah, or something like that.
2004 was Virginia Tech, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. He's also like, doesn't.
Man, what a great society we live in that we can just be like, no, it was during that era.
What year was that?
School shooting era.
Yeah, right.
Oh, great season for shootings.
One of my favorite arcs. He's like, he wears a trench coat later as well, right? It's just like, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, it's just like, one thing I forgot to mention in like Peter's room when we were there earlier, like, Peter really is just the dorkiest fucking guy of all time. He's got like a massive Dixon Ticonderoga pencil in the corner. He's got like, he's definitely had a race car bed at some point in his life, or is going to get one eventually. He's got the giant periodic table on the wall. It's like, bro, you're just doing it to yourself. You've got nothing to go off of. But so he dips after that, after knocking fucking.
Yeah, and all the students are kind of like, we wanted you to win the fight, but in a more human way, I guess.
And then Peter ditches school and faces no repercussions for that, and then does some self-exploring, and learns to mess with his newfound powers a bit.
Yeah, this shit is insane. This kid just like, he runs out of school and he's just like, dude, I've got powers. And then like, there's just like 0 to 10,000 right off the bat. He's like, I can
really
like,
goes from like, I can shoot webs from my wrist to being like,
I'm gonna chuck myself
I can climb on buildings, and I am going to start planning my entire superhero future.
Right.
Yeah.
He figures out the fucking like wrist thing just by trying various like, combinations of hand gestures, some Naruto shit, and then just like it's insane. Like he's jumping all over rooftops and shit. Like,
right,
bro, you are going to die very rapidly if you fall. But
it seems like that's what he's trying to test. Yeah. Well, we'll kill him.
He's just completely unhinged. This kid's a psycho.
Truly. And that ends with him just eating it on a billboard.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
It says traffic is fun.
It does, yeah.
I'm trying to think if it then goes to...
He just eats shit there too. Like it is just slams into it. He doesn't like punch through or anything.
Yeah, they didn't pull any punches there.
Peter gets like his ass handed to him repeatedly. Like if there's a fight,
totally
like
does.
people get like their shit kicked in like easily.
Yeah.
So it's a very physical sense of humor in this movie.
Well, there's some people who come into like Norman and tell him
that your guy's dead.
Yeah, like the doctor's dead and the glider's missing. And
you're
Norman's
right.
like, what?
We're all looking for the guy who did this.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Green Goblin mask on. He's like, oh, who knows?
He's like stuffing a pumpkin bomb in his pocket.
It could be you. It could even be me. We don't know.
Look, nobody's ruled out of this, right?
Yeah, right?
I mean, I should probably lead the investigation, but I mean...
Very true. Seeing as I was closest to this guy. It's what he would have wanted.
Yes, I think after that whole debacle, I think that's when Peter then comes home and he sees that the kitchen has been painted. And there's a note from Uncle Ben that's like, there's some food in the fridge. Love you, champ.
Michelangelo.
Yeah. And then Peter then looks out the kitchen window and overhears next door where MJ lives, there's a large fight happening. And it is...
I never quite catch what they're saying in that fight either.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, hey, you fucking...
No, you wanted a dog.
Hey,
Why did I get this damn thing? I'm not going to take it for a walk. You never take it for a walk. Oh, you didn't want the dog after puppers died. You swore to God you wanted it.
Hey, forget about it. You want to ask for the gabagool and you didn't fucking bring it home. I forget about it. Hey, Mama's known as Stromboli.
Daughter, wash these dishes.
Yeah, right.
No. Why are you walking out back?
Yeah.
Why I said what? No.
And so Peter takes this opportunity to take out the trash, and that's when Mary Jane happens to also go into the backyard to escape the yelling. And they then talk. And they're like,
Peter, did you hear that? And he's like, well, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Have you tried not hearing that?
Yeah, right. Everyone yells. He's like, okay. How embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what he's like. Everybody shouts sometimes.
Like, okay.
Facts.
And then she's like, yeah, that was pretty crazy how you beat the shit out of Flash. And he's like, yeah.
Whoops.
She's like, well, at least he's doesn't have a black eye for graduation. By the way, what are you going to do after graduation?
Yeah, right.
Well, you see, I want to
become a doctor scientist.
And I'm going to pay my way through college with photography. What about you? Oh, I want to be a big actor in the big city. Wow, I believe in you. Then,
yeah.
Hey, MJ, it's me. I think Flash.
Yeah, it
it's
is
never
Flash, yeah.
officially said. It's just heavily implied. Check out the new car I got. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Wow, what a nice car.
Right. She 180 goes from yeah, I'm trying to be an actress when I grow up. You want to be a doctor? That's really cool. Haha. And then Flash was like, hi, Flash. Cool car. And Peter's just sitting there like seething, and she's like, bro, focus on yourself. Like, you're not getting a Corvette. Like, hate to break it to you.
His takeaway from that is like, I need a cool car.
I need a cool car.
Holy God. Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a fucking dork. Like, bro, you got the race car bed. Jesus Christ.
And so then there's
like an insane montage where he's like, trying to figure out how to get this car, and it's just like this fucking like MJ's face appears on screen and a car JPEG appears over top of her, and it's just like,
That's it. Yeah, so then he looks through the classifieds in the newspaper, and he sees a cool convertible car for about $29.95.
He's like going down
low
the list
price
of like things, you know. He's
yeah,
like, okay,
and he's like, man, where am I ever going to get $29.95? And then he happens to look at the listing below, and it is for a wrestling event where if you can last 3 minutes in the ring, you get $3,000, and that's $5 more than he needs. What would he possibly do with that extra car?
And get a soda.
Right, very true. So he's like, that's it. I got it. I've like, I'm going to go and get that car and get that girl.
Yeah. And then he goes and starts designing his costume because the ad made very clear to say that costumes are encouraged or something to that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then he does that. He has that iconic montage of him designing his costume. Symbol?
More red? More color?
Yeah.
You know, he's like grinding it out. He's like a decent artist as well.
Yeah, evidently. My God.
And he comes out the end of this montage with what is effectively the final and famous Spider-Man costume being designed.
The human spider costume.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But then he, we don't get the reveal of what his costume actually, looks like yet.
Right.
But he puts together his costume, and it is not that costume.
No, it is so fucking lame. Oh, my God.
And so I guess then at this point, we can assume it's, the next day or so or whatever.
Right.
And Peter's like, all right, Aunt May and Uncle Ben, I'm going to go downtown to the library. And then Uncle Ben's like, oh, well, I'll drive you there. I need my exercise. And then Peter's like, no, really. And he's like, I need my exercise.
Peter, get in the fucking car.
And so then Uncle Ben gives Peter a ride downtown to the library.
Uh-huh.
And right before Peter gets out, he says, hey, Peter, we need to have a talk. And he's like, come on, Uncle Ben, do we need to have a talk now?
What follows is the nicest possible talk in the history of cinema. It is the most pleasant, one-sided conversation of all time.
Yeah. Jack, do you want to be Peter? And Mike, you should be Ben.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give him my best shot.
Action.
Oh, look, Peter. We just haven't had a whole lot of time to talk with you now that you're kind of coming into your own and growing up. And you feel like a stranger to your aunt and me sometimes. And I just want to make the note here to say that these are the years where the person you are is going to be the person that you are for life. So it's important that you set yourself on the right path and make the right decisions. And I don't doubt that you have that ability to do it. But I think, if I could say anything, I figure I could just tell you that with great power comes great responsibility. And I don't mean to preach or talk at you, but I just wanted to let you know that, if you ever need anything, I'm here. And I'm happy to guide you in any way I can.
You don't want to preach? Huh? Well, that's what you're doing right now, man. You're not my dad, okay? You're not my fucking dad, Uncle Ben. So take your fucking power and responsibility and shove it so far up your old wrinkly ass that you fucking puke word vomit for the next week. Up yours, pal. I hope you get fucking shot by a guy later. See ya. He fucking leaves.
Oh.
Peter just completely snaps on him for no reason.
I think the really amazing thing about that is then Ben's just like, okay now.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Sorry about that, pal.
I see.
Yeah, so that was the second part of Ben dialogue. And he's just trying his best, man. Peter's just being a dickhead there.
True, for no discernible reason.
Right. He's his uncle's trying to make some sort of full attempt to connect with him, and Peter's just not hearing it.
And so Peter gets out of the car and Ben drives away with one single tear streaming down his face.
Yeah.
And then Peter looks around to make sure the Ben's not in eyesight and heads not towards the library, but towards the wrestling arena.
He's such a bad boy. Yeah! It's just a loud crowd commotion. People freaking out. Fucking Hell in a Cell is happening. The Punisher is throwing people around. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, and so we get
ready.
Yeah, we are introduced to Bonesaw, who is in fact ready. Yeah, and so Bonesaw is just kind of doing Bonesaw's thing,
right.
And meanwhile,
he's just
Peter,
some guy on stage.
He's at the sign-up table, and Ma from the movie Ma.
Yeah, right.
Is like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
He's like, no. And she's like, all right. Whatever. Tiny guy. It's your funeral.
It's your funeral. You have to like verbally agree that you're not going to sue us. Does he sign anything? Like,
I don't know if he signs it. I'm sure. Maybe he does.
Maybe he does. But she's just like, you're going to die, and that's on you. So just sign here and here, and, we'll get on from it. It's funny. It's like, it's the lady from Ma. There she is,
And then from there, I think we have Bonesaw taking out his latest challenger, who is some guy with like a tiki mask or something. Yeah. And then we have good old Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, baby.
Ash himself. And ladies and gentlemen, the next challenger against Bonesaw is... Hey, kid, what's your name? And then Peter, being the fucking nerd that he is, it's like the human spider.
The human spider. And then he takes a second to be like, that really?
That's Bruce Campbell knows a good name when he hears one, and that is not one.
Yeah, he's like, that fucking that sucks. That's a bad name, and he's just like, the Amazing Spider-Man is
and then
coming
Peter,
out.
being the fucking dweeb that he is, isn't just like, well, I guess I'll roll with these. They said my name wrong.
He's like turning around.
Human spider.
He's like turning around. It's like the people behind him, like he got it wrong. He's like, get out, go.
Yeah.
Like, and then like fucking Bonesaw's harlots or whatever around him just shit talking.
Yeah, this is the part that I'd like to again hear your take on this, Mike, because this is kind of funny.
I'm saying that'd be a killer gimmick, dude. Like, do you just have like a legion of scantily clad women who stand at the entrance ramp whenever your opponent walks down, and just have microphones for all of them?
Yeah,
just
right.
berating the guys.
They're all just being really
look at this little chicken shit fucker.
There's no way you're gonna beat Bonesaw.
Run home to mommy.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I would love to see that in actual wrestling. It'd be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just roasting him, and he gets in there, and then all of a sudden it's just like the fucking. I forget if there's any build up to it at all. There probably is.
Oh
like,
no, absolutely, because he hops in the ring, and then all of a sudden they're just like, and surprise cage match, and the one guy. Cage!
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's like one of the fucking just random guys that Sam Raimi threw, and they just some guy Cage!
Like just practically like popcorn like spewing out of his mouth.
This guy is just like, he bought like a ticket for this, and it did not know it was a cage match, and he's just like, man, it would be really great if there's a cage match tonight, but it's just not in the cards.
They're not promoting a cage match. It's not gonna happen.
Right. So that just made that guy's night. So it goes down, and fucking Peter is in there with Bonesaw, and like what follows is like the greatest exchange of words in the English dialects. Fucking.
So Bonesaw goes after Spider-Man, who climbs onto the side of the cage for protection, and Bonesaw just goes, "What are you doing up there?" And he's like, "Staying away from you."
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, "Nice outfit. Did your husband buy it for you?" Come on, Spider-Man, get with the times.
Yeah, right.
It's 2002
yes, Spider-Man. Actually,
yeah.
he did. My husband loves me very much. And nobody would rather spend my
I
time.
love that bit.
Fucking
That's one of my
iconic
favorite.
Yeah, right.
And so then after Macho Man makes a very poor effort of hopping up to catch Spider-Man off the wall, Spider-Man comes down and gives him a run for his money, but then is swiftly hit by a chair.
Bonesaw kicks the shit out of him for a while. He fucking pounds on him. Punches him.
Yeah, that spider sense does not.
Handing him weapons, chairs, and crowbars.
Well, I mean, even without that, he just grabs Spider-Man by the arm and the leg and just swings him to the side of the cage.
Yeah, God, Tobey Maguire really sells it to the.
Yeah, just has him on the ground and just punches him repeatedly.
The cage is made out of rebar.
That's
what the cage is.
Yeah, right. It's funny. It's like somebody made the point that if fucking Bonesaw had indeed gone on that anti-homophobic rant or whatever, that speech, then that would have put Spider-Man over the 3 minutes, and the entire movie would not have happened. So so that's funny. But Spider-Man eventually does get up and just kick the shit out of. He just slumps him, man. He's just face down.
So much so that apparently a pin is not even necessary.
Yeah, a series of kicks and a monkey flip into the cage, and Bonesaw's out.
Yeah, he literally just kicks. He just knocks Bonesaw the fuck out and wins.
And the crowd does a quick 180.
The crowd is loving it
because they did not love Spider-Man on his entrance.
No, they hated him.
Yeah. But they're easily won, so they're nice and happy.
Well, you defeat Bonesaw in 2 minutes. Come on.
They love an underdog. This guy's been beating the tar out of everybody else. Like shit.
So next, I believe we're at Spider-Man's payout.
Yeah.
And Peter goes up to the promoter
with the same fucking stupid look on his face. He's like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna get my $3,000."
And he gets a crisp $100 bill, and then he sits there like waiting, like he's probably just a slow counter. And then he's like, "What the fuck are you waiting for, eh?" And he's like, "The rest of my money, sir." It's like, well, we told you $3,000 for 3 minutes. You only did 2 minutes.
So I get $2,000?
No, you get 3% of the initial agreement. And so then he was like, "Get out of here, kid."
And Spider-Man's just like, Peter's just like, but I really need that money. And the guy owns him so fucking hard. He's just like, I missed the part where that was my problem. And just like, that's it. It's just over for Spider-Man.
Yeah, so then Peter Parker accepts defeat and starts heading towards the exit. And while he's heading towards the elevator, a certain gentleman then approaches that same promoter.
And we learned that the spider sense does not work as like a metal detector / like threats about to happen to other people.
Or even just like a good sense detector. Like, do you see that guy's haircut? And that guy was clearly
come on.
not well.
Yeah.
So,
but if he were going to point that gun at Peter, spider sense would have gone off.
Yeah.
But it wasn't gone. So it doesn't matter, really.
It's a something metaphor for how he doesn't care about other people yet, so he's not thinking about that situation.
Yeah, his spider sense doesn't apply there yet.
Yeah, right. So fucking Frosted Tips walks in and just puts the toolie in the other guy, in the promoter guy's face, and he's like, "Put all the money in the bag," and the guy's like, "Oh, shit."
And he does. And then Frosted Tips runs down the hallway, and Peter had just hit the elevator button, so the elevator was wide open.
Yeah, it was warmed
up. Peter, instead of stopping this armed gentleman, he steps aside and lets him get right in the elevator. Yep. And Frosted Tip gentleman thanks him for this.
He's like, "Thanks, man."
And then the show promoter's like, "What the fuck? That was my money."
Yeah, right.
And
you could have wiped the table with that guy.
Spider-Man does his sick comeback where he goes, what did he say?
I forgot. I literally just said it. He flips it on the guy. He's like, "I forgot the part where that's my problem." And he feels so cool. He's like feeling himself after that.
And the promoter feels him too.
He's like, "Game, respect, game."
Yeah, right. It's just like, he didn't even like look that offended. He's like, "You know what? Like,
you're right. It was not your problem. That was my problem. I mean, I need to buy more guns in the future."
I mean, it's like, honestly, I'm like a fucking. I mean, obviously Peter like has the power to do something about that, but like
he doesn't have the responsibility.
He doesn't have the responsibility, and like, I mean, if he was just a regular guy, like, I'm not fucking trying to stop that guy. That guy's got a gun. Like, shit, I'm not trying to get shot for your money. You just screwed me. I don't know. That guy.
Honestly,
I'll stop that guy for $2,900.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And even then, it's a hard sell. He's got a gun.
yeah, right. I'll stop that guy for $2,900.
I will hit the elevator close button, and that's about it.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. I'm not trying to be a hostage, man. The cop was just like, "Why didn't you stop him?" It's like, I'm just a guy. Like,
and
that's your job, pal.
I think immediately after that, Peter walks outside.
It is instantly. And
he sees a crowd and quite a bit of commotion going on down the street. And he's like, I wonder what that could be all about.
He's like, "Oh, sweet, I love murder scenes. It's like sick."
And so he heads over to said murder scene to find that the murderee was none other than Uncle Ben
for his third and final line of dialogue in the entire movie. Talks about the PC, talks about great power and great responsibility, and then he's like, "Peter," and dies.
And does a great performance of
Peter. I couldn't handle that they-them pussy. Oh my god.
And he dies.
He dies.
Yeah. And then Peter leaves his cold, dead body in the street to go take revenge.
Right. Yes. He runs off, fucking finds the guy, What does he do?
He does some swinging around. He punches through a roof.
Oh yeah,
the guy crashes, right. And then they find themselves in an abandoned factory or building.
Well, yeah,
of
but like
some
that
sort.
chase sequence was like fun as fuck because
it was great.
He like swings up until he sees like the car, like just some commotion on the road, which he like assumes is like the guy that he's chasing because the guy is like stolen.
Yeah, God, how terrible would it be if it wasn't
just some random other guy? Like he solves that crime, but like he fucking this is another like just another example of Raimi just constantly adding like interesting shit to the movie. Like there's during this chase scene, there's a shot where like the car like crashes through like something in the median, like some sort of like stand or something.
Right.
And instead of there just being like debris, there's like a shitload of like colored balls that like just fucking just fall, like just crash out. It just did not have to add that in the movie, but it just makes that part like a little bit more visually interesting to like watch, and it's like entertaining. It's cool.
Right.
It's like just this cartoonish comic book like sensibility.
Oh yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
It's really fantastic.
So Spider-Man then corners Frosted Tips in this warehouse,
punches holes in the fucking roof and smashes the windshield, and
he really is giving this guy
windshield, punches through it, all that stuff. Yeah.
He puts this guy through his head through like 2 separate glass windows. And then
that's like really fucking fun. It's just like he just grabs the guy, smashes his head through one window, pulls it back. The other shot is like him winding it back and smashes his head through the other window.
He really,
there's double doors.
Yeah, right.
And so then
it would have been funny if you just kept on doing that for like 3
again, there should have been like 10 windows and just kept going on. And then Frosted Tips is like by like a window of sorts, and
Sure.
And then Spider-Man's like, I'm going to beat your ass and potentially kill you. And then he's taking his mask off at this point. And then the light shines on Frosted Tips' face. And he sees it's Frosted Tips.
It's the very same Frosted Tips.
It's the same guy who he let get away.
Right.
Who killed Uncle Ben and stole his car. And while he's sitting there in shock, taking in this revelation,
I'll never wrestle again.
Frosted Tips brings up his gun and says something that was dumb, and I can't remember what. And then Peter has his spider sense and smacks the gun out of his hand. And then the guy is dumb and trips and falls out a window.
To his death.
Presumably to his death.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's like a giant spotlight right there as he falls, and it's just like shit. And then the spotlight.
And you see doofy ass Peter in the window.
Yeah, right? He's got the same fucking look on his face, mouth like kind of open,
Yeah, the police use their megaphone. They're like, "We got the place surrounded. Come up with your hands in the air." But he's gone.
He just disappeared, teleports away.
True.
Yeah, so there's that fucking part of the movie. Uncle Ben said 3 things and died. He's iconic, And
then we get a shot of Peter coming home to him. Hey, and delivering the news, assumably.
Yeah. What happens for him to finally become like Spider-Man officially?
He just has the suit somehow.
That.
It's never shown him like, making it.
So that was one of the things I was gonna say is that like again like it showed him designing this killer suit, and then he makes like the shitty one, and then just inexplicably he just has the other one like.
Right.
I guess you have to like drop it off at like the tailor or something.
Right.
Who knows?
We just don't need to know how he got that. The general goes to the competing guys, and he's like he just says some generally like evil shit or whatever. It's just like if you guys can show me that this fucking thing works, then I will sign the contract tomorrow. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, what about Oscorp? And he's just like verbatim, like, nothing would make me happier than seeing fucking Norman Oswald, like what's his name?
Norman Osborn.
Osborn fail or whatever. Like he's just
I just feel like I remember the like part of the meeting being like, oh, like that other company that has the exoskeleton, like they're gonna buy us.
Well, no, that's because he blows them up and he like kills a bunch of people, and then because of that they use the backswing of like that tragedy to expand more and buy the other company. Like that's literally what it says.
They're
cool.
absorbing, emerging, and
awesome.
and they're like, oh, we don't want to have like ingrained staff or whatever.
Right.
You would
No,
call
specifically, we don't want you. Yeah. So either way, it's like
they
so
said
we're
the
at
merger
this,
doesn't go through if Norman Osborn's still on staff.
Right. So
yeah. So they vote him off. Let's talk about this this explosion.
Yeah, we're at this nighttime testing center, like this like military test field, and it's like you've got the general there and like the lead scientist, and out there in the field is just like some guy in like this goofy looking like mecha like flying suit or whatever, and it's just like okay, like all clear for liftoff, and the guy like like lifts off, and it's like he's like getting ready to do his shit, and he's just like, what is that? Like, what's that in the distance? And then just like fucking out of nowhere, a green missile comes in and just blows him the fuck up. He is like mega super dead, and it's just like, oh shit. And then the general's like, a missile comes in, hits the general, blows that up, and then the entire like bunker just chain explodes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like, the entire fucking thing.
We didn't know there was a gas leak in the bunker before that moment. But evidently,
certainly.
Holy God,
that whole thing had no right to explode.
But don't forget, not only does it explode, it explodes so hard that it then becomes graduation day.
Oh yeah,
it explodes into graduation caps. It's crazy.
Yeah, everyone's there. We probably missed some scene of Norman like standing in his house and being like, "I'm hearing laughter. I'm schizophrenic."
Yeah.
Right. True.
But we then have graduation day, and Peter, Mary Jane, and Harry, and the whole cast who are in high school graduate.
Right.
And
can we just take a second to acknowledge the fact that like none of these people look fucking like high school age?
Oh no,
like,
not at all. No, these are like late 20s. Yeah,
most terribly.
Yeah,
it's just some early 2000s Kino right there.
And so they do they're graduating, and Norman pretty much goes up to Harry and say, well, I never thought you could do it, but I guess I've been proven wrong before. And
it's just like he starts out as
Dad.
such like a nice, like kind of like a caring father in the first scene. It's like, oh, okay, cool, and he's just like a complete ass to Harry, and then immediately goes over to
Peter, and he's like, I love you, son.
Yeah, exactly.
And Harry's just like, well, Dad, you had me. It's like, oh, well, I mean,
yeah, but like like a good son.
Yeah,
you're the son I had.
And then we see
like the son I didn't have.
and then Mary Jane and Flash break up for reasons that are inaudible.
Yeah, right. He's like, you know what? We're done. He breaks up with her. He dumps her ass.
Yeah.
Damn.
But she plays it cool.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I don't even care.
No loss.
Whatever.
Yeah, right.
So I guess at that point, that's when Peter just is like, you know what? It's Spider-Man time. And so then he dons the new suit. And just does
starts
he starts being the talk of the town,
right?
And
like, literally there's a montage of him saving people, and then spliced in between that are like interviews of random fucking people about like Spider-Man. There's like some guy like playing like a guitar and singing like a Spider-Man song that they probably just found in New York.
That's what I love is that like there's no way that they didn't just go out to people in New York and they're like, hey, we're making a Spider-Man movie, like say something about Spider-Man. Oh, he's like, I saw him. He was swinging. It was awesome.
Got me a pizza.
Yeah.
He's so cool. And they just had like random like people with like really heavy accents too. Just like, oh, that's Spider-Man. It's a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Some guy just singing a song about Spider-Man.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah. During this montage, we're then introduced to Jonah,
the greatest character in the entire
Jonah Jameson,
J.K. Simmons,
and he's like
every single
Spider-Man.
Literally every single word out of this guy's mouth is comedy fucking gold. Yeah. He's like 100%. High energy. He's like balanced. Like the first scene that we see him in, he's like balancing like 4 different conversations. Like somebody's talking to him about like Spider-Man. He's like, yeah, this guy, he's a ragamuffin. If he's innocent, why doesn't he show his face? Somebody walks in like, we got a problem in this thing. He's like, I'm not ready to talk. Fuck off. And the guy leaves, comes back. We double booked the one page, and he's like highly competent, but like just goddamn all over the place. Like it's fun. You just get a really easy sense for like really clear like what this character is all about. Like he's talking about how much he hates Spider-Man. I don't want to run it in my paper. And then the guy's just like, yeah, but like the second we like ran a Spider-Man story on page 1, we sold triple the amount that we usually sell. It's like, okay, perfect. Put him on every single magazine. We're gonna have Spider-Man all the time now. Like, he's about his bag,
And I think he even goes as far as to put in the paper, like, hey, we will give you money for pictures of Spider-Man.
Well,
and so then,
because the thing is, nobody can get a clear picture of the guy because he's swinging around all the damn time.
Yeah,
and then Peter Parker, who, if you don't know, is Spider-Man.
What?
And also happens to take
that makes so
pictures.
much sense.
He decides, you know what? It's time for me to chase that bag. Yeah. So then he starts selling some pictures.
Oh yeah, isn't the thing that he visits the Oswalds or the Osborns or whatever at like their house or whatever, and there's some family drama between like Harry and Norman that I can't remember, and then Peter's like, yeah, I'm looking for a job, and Norman's like, hey, I can nepotism the fuck out of this situation. I can give you so many jobs. Peter's like, actually, I'm going to try and find my own work. And the guy's like,
pretty much.
I respect that. Right. Peter looks at the paper and he's just like, I can take pictures of Spider-Man. And then he does.
Yeah, well, he's making that bag. And
handily.
Yeah.
He sets up a camera and just beats the tar to some people, posts up.
So I think around this general time period is now when Norman is like, I'm at work.
Oh, real quick. At some point, Mary Jane is working at like a diner. And
who cares?
Basically, Mary Jane and Harry start dating.
Yeah.
Peter finds out. Harry doesn't know. Peter knows.
Mm-hmm. It's just
because that's in the same scene when Norman's like, "Let me give you a job," and Peter's like, "I'll find my own job."
Right.
Pilgrim. But so
it definitely wasn't at the graduation, but yeah, Harry and MJ start dating, and Peter is seething quietly about this.
Yes, naturally.
Even though like, buddy, you did it to yourself. I hate to tell you.
Right. And Norman's like some mystery girl that Harry won't tell me about, and then Peter.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, Harry didn't mention her.
Yeah, because Harry doesn't know that Peter knows.
Exactly.
So
I think it's just during that diner interaction, she's just like, "Yeah, I'm seeing Harry, but don't tell Harry."
Oh, right. Yeah. He just runs.
And he's like, "Don't tell Harry."
Which is just kind of we were like commenting on this during the movie. But
what a healthy dynamic they have.
This poor girl keeps on underselling herself to total fucking assholes.
Yeah.
She's like, he runs into her downtown because she's like he's like, why are you down here? And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go to like audition for a show. Like I'm doing like acting lessons or whatever. Like she's doing something acting related. And he's like, oh, cool. And then her boss yells at her from across the street and she's embarrassed about it. And he's just like, oh, and she like takes off the coat and it's like her work uniform. And he's like, oh,
she's like, I'm a waitress. Don't tell Harry.
Yeah, don't tell anybody because it's mortifying. Apparently,
but I'm so happy I can talk to you about this. Don't tell Harry.
You're like my best friend. I can tell you anything, bestie. So it's over for Peter. But
and then I would say just again probably the most notable thing after this is probably Norman at the meeting.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I love being at work at my company. And they're like, yeah, about that.
About your company.
I sure love my company. I sure hope that
we are voting to make you not part of this company, and we are selling it.
We've determined that you are very imposter, you're very sus, and we're holding an emergency meeting and voting you out.
But you can't do this. Do you have any idea how much I sacrificed?
I am this company. Do you know how much I've sacrificed?
And
it was like, Tom, don't let them do this to me.
And then
different Tom, not the scientist.
Right.
None of these people are named Tom.
Man, the board fuck him so hard. He's just like vibing. He's like chilling.
And then the board member, one of the board members, says, "You're out." And then he takes his cup of tea and sips it menacingly while he makes prolonged eye contact. And then
we're finalizing the merger at the World Diversity Festival.
Intense,
Yeah. And then
we're all going to be there in one location in a very easily bombable way.
And
right in bombing proximity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Norman is like, "Oh yeah, I'm out."
He laughs.
And then does it go immediately to the diversity thing?
Right there.
Cool. Yeah. It's a party.
Yeah, everyone's partying.
Live music and stuff.
Right. They just have this bunch of zany fucking like blimps or whatever, balloons. Like everyone's partying. You've got this like wide crowd of entertaining characters just in the background, like just stupid shit. Peter's there. He looks up.
He's taking pictures of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
MJ and Harry are like talking up there. She curves him up so hard. Yeah,
she does. My God,
damn, it is just so brutal for Harry. He's like,
get this man to a doctor.
Yeah, right. It's just the relationship is just doomed right off the start.
Because Harry's just like, MJ, you look great. You should have worn the black.
You should have worn the black dress, MJ. My dad's gonna be here, and
what about my father? MJ?
I care more about my daddy issues than I do about having a good date with you.
Now and then give me some sugar.
He goes in for the kiss, and she just hits him with that head
full
turn
cheek.
right
full
at the end.
Cheek.
It's just so over for Harry.
It's awful.
And he looks down, and fucking Peter's staring up at him, and it's just like, bruh. And then, what's that?
Oh my God, it's a glider.
It's a green goblin.
And then
yellow sprite of some form.
And the board members are like, wait a second. That's our glider.
Yeah.
And then Norman Osborn, i.e. Green Goblin, starts blowing shit up. And everybody's like, oh,
just
God.
Immediately.
Shit's blowing up.
Right. Fucking throws bombs at places. Everything's exploding.
First throws a bomb right underneath, like, the structural integrity of the balcony they're all standing on.
Yeah.
And they all being the board members and
also
son
MJ.
And MJ, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that all starts crumbling. But then Norman is like, well, I don't want the board members to fall to their death before I vaporize them.
Yeah.
So he comes back around.
He finishes the fucking job by dropping a bomb there. Does he say something?
I think he's like, you're out or something.
Oh, yeah.
He either says you're out or he's like, I'm out, huh?
He's like, who's out?
Yeah.
Throws a bomb
You're
there.
out of life.
And one of the board members is like, Norman Osborn, but why would you bring him up?
Yeah, right. He fucking blows them up. Yeah. They disintegrate down to their fucking skeletons, and they just like fall over.
Yeah.
And then their skeletons disintegrate too.
Yeah, even further, yeah. It's a two-part process.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then at this time, Peter Parker does a very like Superman-esque like changing into his Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
And by changing into his Spider-Man costume, I guess more or less taking off all of his other clothes in which he has his Spider-Man costume underneath of.
Yeah, and putting on his mask.
Yeah, he like changes in like very fast fashion. I forgot to mention when he's like getting used to his powers or whatever and like the web slinging stuff. Mm-hmm. He's like in his room and it's just like very clear like fucking like Dr. Pepper product placement. Just, like, he's just breaking shit, shooting stuff at his lamp or whatever. Shit's shattering. Right. Grabs the Dr. Pepper, catches it perfectly with the Dr. Pepper.
I wish
as part of the advertising, they're like, you can display our can, but you cannot damage it in any way, shape, or form.
I wish that he webbed it and pulled it over and then was like,
yeah, right.
No,
my web
the satisfying taste only Dr. Pepper can
49 flavors? Holy cow.
Incredible.
Not even my genius mind can think of that shit. Yeah, so anyway, fucking the Green Goblin has succeeded in his mission of vaporizing those fuckers, but then he's just causing more chaos. He's like flying around, like blowing up the fucking floats or whatever.
And then Spider-Man comes to save the day.
There's just like one kid who's like just standing there as like this giant float is like falling on top of him. Spider-Man's like, oh, fucking swing.
Resigned to death.
Yeah, right.
Right up. He's
yeah,
just
right.
Like, well, this is the end of
this
the
is my lot in life.
Old Tommy.
Old, 5 years old. Yeah. Gone too soon. He's already writing the obituary in his head. He's like, I never got to play Pokemon Soul Silver or whatever.
Re-releases come out in 10 days. Anyway.
Hell yeah. Spider-Man saves his ass. And then the Green Goblin and Spider-Man fucking fight. It's
they duke it out.
Yeah, right. This was the one scene that was like really big on Twitter because the Green Goblin, like, he fucking throws a punch and the Green Goblin catches him and the camera shakes a little bit. Then he fucking punches him and he flies through like 4 scenes, like smashes through a fucking giant like pyramid of glasses or whatever, slams like a light post. Light post falls over and just
hits a guy.
Poor guy.
It's
just running around. There's the fucking iconic ass shot of like Spider-Man running into the camera. The Green Goblin's posted up.
God, I
They're
love
both
that.
completely cheeked up. It's so ridiculous. Like, oh my god.
Yes, they duke it out and then
fight in the balcony a bit until Spider-Man punches out one of the rockets of the glider, more or less pulls out some wiring.
He fucks it up.
Yeah,
and then as he like spins away,
yeah,
he's
right.
Like,
we'll be back
next time, Spider-Man.
And does the iconic laugh, and MJ's fucking like dying or whatever, so he's like barely holding on. Spider-Man's like running along like the side of the wall or whatever,
doing
like,
Spider-Man stuff.
Doing Spider-Man stuff. and fucking like the Green Goblin. Honestly, the Green Goblin's like the best part of this entire fucking movie.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Every single time he shows up, something just explodes in like insane fashion. We'll get more into that later, but like there should be a drinking game for Spider-Man 1, and one of the things is like take a shot whenever the Green Goblin blows something up.
Just whenever his name's mentioned, there's an explosion.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what was this? The work of Green Goblin.
Yeah, exactly. MJ's about to fall and die.
Yes.
Like that's tough. That's no bueno. Like Harry gets like his shit kind of rocked this entire movie.
Yeah, he just gets like his noggin conked.
Yeah, right.
And he's out of commission.
Yeah.
What? How does he get knocked out? Something.
I think he's just like, I'll save you, MJ, and then a rock just like hits him on the head, and then he's like out of it.
Over. Yeah, right.
So then Spider-Man indeed saves MJ, and then he like drops her off, and then he flirts with her a little bit, and he's like, you know who I am.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
It's just like the situation is not handled. Like there is like fucking shit still falling, and stuff exploding. The Green Goblin is out there, like just he definitely could have run after and caught him if he wanted to.
He just landed in the local convent and children's school.
Yeah, like the fucking
Spider-Man's just like, oh, my work here is done.
Yeah, I'm MJ. I'm just gonna go spit game to MJ. Like he just swings off with MJ, and he just swings her around a little bit, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You know who I am." She's like, "Huh?" And he just runs off.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
There's like a couple in the background just chilling on the roof, and they're just like, "What the fuck is happening over there?" I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Jumps off the roof. Right. Like there's still rocks falling on people. Probably dozens injured.
And he's just doing bad comedy at the Spectator. The elevator's broken. It's like, whatever, Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving that one kid and then, sacrificing that one guy to the lamppost. But
yeah. Brutalized.
We appreciate you, Spider-Man.
Imagine lawsuits in like fucking superhero world.
Oh god, yeah.
Like,
it's like, did you manage to save the board members and economic engine of our city?
No.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right. You see
that
those,
happens sometimes.
You see those memes where it's just like walking out of your 10-hour shift and you see Superman pick up your car and chuck it at the enemy and miss, and it's just like,
fuck
okay.
me,
man. Shit.
It's like I didn't like the board members any more than you did, but right now we run on a lot of their money. You understand?
Right.
That happens where it's like the newspaper headline. It's like board members vaporized, and
he's like,
and then,
huh?
Yeah, and the Green Goblin's just like, you understand, don't you? And like,
who's there?
Norman's like, what's going on?
What's going on?
And the Green Goblin's like, don't play fool with me.
Right.
All that stuff.
He looks in the mirror and it's like, I'm you and you're me, him, me.
Right. He's like, all these things have been benefiting you so specifically and immensely. What did you think this was?
Put the pieces together. And he's just like, no, I can't be. And he's just like, yes, we are one and the same.
Like, okay, but what do I do? And he's like, the Spider-Man.
Right. He's like, yeah,
we either kill
him
only one or put him on his team, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, but maybe kill him. There's only one person who can stop us, so we must either kill him or make him join us. And it's like, I mean, I don't really get what the mindset is to try and get him to join you, but sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. Like, Green Goblin's not that bad a guy after all. Like, I just don't really understand what his, I'm going to go talk to him and be like, come help me kill people. Like,
right.
No, I don't think so. I'm not literally insane.
So then we have Peter Parker trying to give his photos to Jameson. Jameson's being a kind of a-hole about it. Right. But then crash through the window. Here comes Green Goblin.
Oh yeah, no, but Jameson like stands up. He's
Jameson is a fucking Chad right here. He's like he's like the real bro here. He's like, tell me who gives you the pictures of Spider-Man so I can beat the piss out of him. And then he's like, I don't know who he is. He sends them through the mail. Yeah, that's right. No, not in this room.
He's definitely not right there selling me pictures of Spider-Man.
What I like about Green Goblin busting him real quick is just like Jonah Jameson's like monologuing and stuff, and
he
throws his cigar
That's what I was
gonna
say.
Yeah. And then his cigar flies back in the window.
Lands on his
desk. He's just kind of like,
huh?
Oh, wait a minute, I threw this out the window.
Blows up, and fucking the Green Goblin's in there.
Brilliant.
Grabs him by the neck, and he's just like, where's Spider-Man? Who takes the pictures?
He's like, I'll kill you right now.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man shows up and is like, hey,
Gobby.
Bad quips.
Just insert one-liners.
Yeah, and then Green Goblin goes, sleep. And he goes to sleep.
Yeah, right. He just knocks his ass the fuck out.
Sprays like knockout gas in him.
Yeah. Also, what I found kind of interesting is that, like, it seemed to me that whole ordeal was happening in the daytime when there is light.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter wakes up at night.
You know how big the city is?
I don't quite get you're getting at.
The Green Goblin
changes
carries
multiple
him
time zones.
to the rooftop. Like, he carries him from, like, wherever you...
Yes.
He's just...
gliders him to a location elsewhere in the city.
He's just posted up in his
where
fucking
it's
costume.
dark.
Yeah, where it's
a lot
dark.
of time passed.
Well, he's just sitting there waiting in costume. He's like sweating his balls off. Like,
yeah, he's just like scrolling through Twitter, like waiting for him to wake up.
Assaulted the Daily Bugle around dusk, maybe about like 15 minutes beforehand, and then slept Spider-Man in like 15 minutes or so, and then grabbed him and traversed like 30 minutes throughout the city to get to a more remote rooftop.
All right.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just Peter was just knocked the fuck out, and you got to give it to the Goblin. He doesn't just slit his throat right there as he perhaps should have. He like. This is a really funny interaction because it's just like he just does an entire shtick where it's like, you and I are the same. We are special and powerful, and it's just like, I mean, I'm just being a little bit extra here, pal. Also, like, this is like when you really start to notice you can just straight up see the Goblin's mouth underneath the fucking plastic ass mask.
Which, out of all the times I've seen this movie, I never noticed that until this time, and I don't like it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's yours to know now.
I just love how there's zero explanation for these suits. Like in any other fucking like Marvel or DC movie or whatever, there'd be a montage like explaining, oh, I went to the suit and got like this. I made the suit like this, or fucking. They just have.
But no, there's like, yo, this shit looks cool.
The Green Goblin just has missiles and fucking pumpkin bombs. Like, it's so true. So Peter's just like posted up there, fucking slumped on the wall, and the Green Goblin's just like, join me. We can, Anakin, fucking Luke Skywalker. We can do it together. And he's just like, no, you are not my father.
Pretty much, yeah.
He like slaps Spider-Man on the head too.
Yeah.
It's like just every single fucking scene has something entertaining going on with it. There's like the actors do something, or there's some over-the-top thing in the background, or like some visual gag to keep it entertaining. Like, there's not a single like boring or not like interesting moment in this entire like movie or whatever. There's just constantly some cool shit going on. Like fucking, but in the scenes, the Green Goblin just like putting his leg up on the fucking window and slapping Spider-Man on the head. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's real
like,
cavalier.
Shit.
He's having a good time.
So he's like, just think about it. We can work together and kill people or something. I don't know.
Rule the city.
We can rule the city. Like, well, I don't know why we want to, but Spider-Man obviously is like, I'm not really about that, but I'll give it some thought, I guess, so you don't just slit my throat right now.
Right.
Yeah, like I will think about that.
Please don't.
And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure then the next scene is Spider-Man swinging around town, and it's like, a building on fire.
Fire.
It's the fire. Is it the fire right away?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, if not,
That's
there's
like
not really anything super important in the interim.
I mean, we don't really need to know about any of the other characters doing anything.
Yeah, I'll just kind of do the same shit anyway.
Right. So there's like a building burning down, and like some lady's like, my baby! You gotta save my baby!
Yeah. He's
and
like, step aside, ma'am. I'll save your baby.
Right. All the fucking the firemen are just like, we hate to break it to you, lady.
We can't go in there. There's fire in there.
Yeah, what are we, some kind of firemen? So Spider-Man, of course, shows up and fucking swings in, and like everyone's
saves
just
that
like,
dang baby.
Well, there's like a moment of like tension where it's just like, oh shit, like he's taking way too long. Where is he? And then there's just a massive fire explosion out the window, and the lady's like, oh, the humanity. Fucking, because of course you have to have explosions in these scenes, 'cause why would you not? Explosions are sick. And of course, Spider-Man jumps out the window and pulls up with just like a fucking lump of thing, and he's just like, "Sorry, lady, couldn't save your baby, but I did save this nice looking throw pillow."
And I brought you the remains of your baby, so you can have closure.
So you can have closure. I probably should have grabbed your kid. Why didn't you grab your kid?
And then he hears like a screaming coming from the building.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure everybody in the street's like, everybody's out or something. Everybody that I know anyway.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, well,
there's somebody.
I can't leave somebody screaming in the building.
This fucking police officer pulls up and he's like, "You're under arrest!" And Spider-Man's just like, there's a guy in there that I gotta save.
Yeah.
So like, try me. And the police officer's just seething. He's like,
"Get out of here, you Spider-Man!"
Yeah, he's just like, "I'm gonna be here once you come back." And Spider-Man's just like, "I'm not coming back.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
why
gonna
would
be
I?
real with
why
you,
would I
G?
do
Like,
that?
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. I just am not doing that.
Yeah.
But you stay easy though. So he goes back in there, and there's just like this fucking figure completely covered in like a shawl. Because of course it is. Like, just, you know, Spider-Man's just like, oh shit, I gotta save this person. He's like going over there trying to fucking save this like cloaked figure, and of course it's the Green Goblin in full costume.
Oh my god, it got me.
Yeah, right. No way. It's just so ridiculous. How'd that even transfer? Like, how'd the Green Goblin even come to that conclusion? He sees Spider-Man go in there, he's like, oh, that motherfucker. I thought he would really turn evil after 5 minutes in a head
Yeah,
slap.
it really was just like, you didn't accept my request in in the past 3 hours. You will die now.
Right.
Well, he did. In all fairness, Peter did see that one headline that's like Spider-Man, friend or foe.
They will turn on you, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. Sure, man.
Like, just my balls.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Just
Yeah.
like-
So once again, they duke it out, and duke it out they do. And
It's like a
during
pretty
this
fun
whole,
fight scene.
it's
Yeah.
great.
There's like
But
drones
shuriken.
flying
Yeah,
everywhere. It's like little like drone shurikens of like blades of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
during this kerfuffle, Spider-Man takes a slice to the arm.
He does indeed take a slice.
He's
of
like,
the arm.
"Ouch!"
Out
But
of
then-
like 5 pumpkin shuriken boomerang devices flying around, he's doing matrix bends. And
Yeah, right.
stuff.
He's like dodging shit. Like he does like a limbo underneath one.
He kicks him in the air, shoots a web at him.
Oh
pulls him
yeah,
back,
he
and then
does like
kicks him
a
again.
fucking Marvel versus Capcom type
Yeah,
fight.
exactly. Yeah.
Just does exactly
Solid
that.
combo. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking. You're saying like he should just do that repeatedly. Just like punch him up, pull him back
Yeah,
down,
like,
punch him up.
that
pull him
seems
back
like the
down.
way to do it, right
yeah,
there.
right, exactly.
But yeah,
Instant
so
win.
he
Swing him through some load-bearing beams.
yeah, but he banishes the Green Goblin more or less.
Yeah, right. He beats his
Yeah.
fucking ass. Yeah. So he beats the shit out of the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin slashes his arm.
And then it does some kind of wacky transition from the Green Goblin into then Norman, like having a weird like convulsion type deal in the elevator, going to Thanksgiving
And here
dinner.
is the pinnacle. This is the climax of the movie. Thanksgiving. Here we go. This is why it's a
Gobble,
Thanksgiving movie. Gobble gobble, baby. You've got just honestly a really eclectic fucking group of characters. Like I really just don't.
Yeah, there's like
understand
no reason that any of these
why
people
they
should be
would all
interacting.
be together. Aunt May has never met these people. Like I guess Peter is friends with like
Harry.
is Harry.
Yeah, I guess that's
but
like the
his,
connection, right?
Yeah, they go to Aunt May's place. To all like okay, so
No, I feel like it's Harry's.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we know Aunt May's place, right? It's
Oh,
like
true.
where.
Oh,
Or it
yeah,
might
I
even be
all that.
Peter's place because he has like his own room because
Right. Yeah. So it has to be like Peter's house.
Norman has this convulsion in the elevator and just walks it off and just comes in
Yeah.
and
As one does.
yeah, right. Just Harry and MJ are there. Aunt May is there.
the whole gang except for Peter.
for Peter.
Yeah, and
is
Harry's
there.
like, Peter's not here. He's playing jazz or something.
yeah, right.
Peter swings in and then makes a noise when he like
Oh.
gets into his room.
Yeah, so like, oh, I guess
We're like,
he's here.
And that's when I made my great joke about squirrels.
Yeah.
Right. So
Web slinging
Web
squirrels.
slinging
Web-slinging
You
squirrels.
said you, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, so they go to check, but that's weird. Peter's not in the room.
yeah, so
Oh,
he's
I guess,
actually stuck to the ceiling.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
looking down and he's just like fucking sweating bullets and looks. There's like a zoom in on the gash on his arm and he's like, oh fuck.
And everybody
Soon
else
discover
is
that
like,
his veins run with ketchup.
Yeah.
well,
right.
pretty much everybody but Norman is like ready to,
turn
like,
around and
yeah,
walk away.
leave.
Yeah.
but
'Cause
Norman
Norman's goblin senses have kicked in.
and so he's kind of gotten a good view of Peter's room. And he's like,
smell
there's no reason to be here anymore. And he starts to walk towards the door, and then
a
we see
single drop
yeah,
of blood runs
single
down
drop of
Peter's
ketchup.
arm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
hits the ground, makes a ketchup splash. It's really, really thick blood. That's just the spider blood, baby. That's like
Yeah.
that's the genetic enhancements right there.
Right.
He hears this one drip of blood hit the ground and whips around, and there's like the blood on the ground. He looks up and there's nothing there, but Peter's like stuck underneath the balcony outside because he's just
Right.
like moved out.
which I don't know why he didn't go there in the first place.
That's very
but-
true. Like I mean,
He didn't have time.
yeah, right. Listen, he's under pressure. The spider senses
Yeah.
did not work.
Plus,
then,
that's
I
outside.
guess.
Someone could look up 50 stories and see him.
Like he made
silly me.
Peter made a calculated decision there. He's just really not good at math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's a scientist, not a mathematician.
Exactly right.
So then they start having their wonderful Thanksgiving meal. or about to have their Thanksgiving meal.
Peter tells his great story about how he had to beat an old lady with a can of cranberry
Oh
sauce.
yeah, right, exactly.
And how he left her bleeding in the streets.
Just beat the tar. You're like, just what an unhinged thing to say to your close family and like prospective, crush or whatever. You're just like, sorry, I had to like beat up an old lady to get here.
Norman's about to start
eating
bread or some shit, just like it's nobody's business. But Aunt May, being a good Christian person, slaps Norman's hand.
You fucking atheist, you redditor. Come on, man.
And says, hey, why don't you lead us in grace instead of just digging into the food, you fucking animal? And Norman licks his fingers seductively.
Yeah, right.
And goes, okay. And starts to...
There was some weird vibes between, like, I don't, maybe not. I'm over.
No. Because then he wields his phallic imagery and starts sharpening his knife.
Oh, yeah.
Making
bizarre.
Dead eye contact with Aunt May. So...
Right.
I think we're definitely on point
He's like,
here with the sexual tension.
Sorry to hear about Ben. That's tough. Man, what you doing later,
right?
girl?
Must have a lot of free time these days.
Yeah,
and this is when Aunt May notices that Peter's green shirt has a weird red streak in the arm.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I don't remember this having any red lines. Wait a minute. That's blood.
That's
yeah.
Peter,
and this is when Norman's eyes like widen to the size of plates.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just unfortunate. The Spider-Man movies love to have that scene where like Spider-Man just comes face to face with his villain. They're both just kind of like shitting themselves because it's just like, it's the guy. Oh my God. So,
and they really like to play around it too. It's like, oh, I got it in the street. A biker ran into me.
Old lady that I beat up.
She
got
had
me.
some fight in her.
She had some fight in her.
Put her down. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, right. I left her in a fucking gutter.
And Norman's like, where did you say you got that cut? Yeah. And Peter's like, that old lady, I thought.
And then Norman's like,
more
I gotta go.
Yeah, Norman just gets up and dips, and like Harry is like devastated about
Papa.
this. Daddy, my daddy issues, no.
And Norman's like, certain things have come to light.
Yeah,
and then also completely unprovoked is like, your girlfriend's terrible.
Yeah, right.
I hate her.
Yeah, he literally just walks out and starts spitting some Sigma grind. You got to be about your bag, son. You know, your mother was
like, she's using you for your money, son. Your mother did the same to me. Let me give you a word of advice. Use her for whatever you got to use her for, and then sweep her.
Yeah, it's just he just gets like really sexist all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, holy shit! Like,
right, and Harry's just kind of like, no, you're wrong.
No, you're right. He kind of stands up to her.
But then he comes back in, and she's like, hey, thanks for more or less like, thanks for standing up to me. And he's like, fuck you.
My dad's a great man. Dude, he is
like, if
so
I'm half the misogynist he is, I'll be destined for greatness.
He's like he just really needs therapy. That poor boy.
Yeah.
So, fucking, it's just really funny how like Norman starts out as kind of like a caring father, and just by the end it's just kind of a total bastard.
Mary Jane leaves, and Harry's like, you don't know what you're talking about, and Aunt May's like, Harry, it's a bit much, don't you think?
Right, and Peter's just like, I see a crack in a relationship.
Yeah, Peter's
I'm gonna
like,
be a home wrecker.
Things not going too well between you.
What a shame.
That's so tough.
That's rough.
Darn.
That's rough, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Alleyway happens, which is we have MJ who's walking down the street on this dark rainy night, and then 4 thugs start to harass her.
Well, I mean, she has like a nice interaction with Peter beforehand, and they're just like, yeah, you feeling good about last night or whatever? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling so much better. Thanks for asking. He's like, okay, great. And then she like walks off, and then there's like a roving band of like rapists or whatever, just like let's go. Peter's like, holy shit, gets changed into Spider-Man.
Good thing Spider-Man's nearby,
right?
And he beats them all up, and for whatever reason is not wearing his mask.
He like time. Beats the shit out of like it's it's like it's shot like he just grabs the two of them, like all 4 of them get yanked away in quick succession
webs,
and like more or less hits her with their unconscious bodies.
He just chucks one of their corpses in her direction. It's really funny.
Then I
smashing out windows.
One smashes to the left of her, one smashes.
I don't know that we really
knife throwing doing magic tricks, but with thugs.
Yeah.
I don't know that we really talked about this when we were viewing it, but I love that then when Mary Jane goes to confront him after the beatings have done. The way he goes around the corner. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
He's got twinkle.
Yeah, so he does a nice little ballet move, out of sight, and then she looks around the corner, and he's gone. But then he does his spider web upside down thing.
Yeah.
And then they flirt, and then she kisses him.
Right. She goes up and peels down his mask. And he's like, oh wait, I'm a virgin. And she's like, okay. And pulls the mask down and kisses him. Yeah, right.
I have a thing for that.
Yeah, right.
But then
Willem Dafoe's losing his fucking mind. He's talking to his mask publicly now. Well, publicly in his own home, which is really privately. But yeah, so
privately, if you will.
Yeah, so his mask is like, you need to destroy Peter, and Norman's like, Peter's a good kid, I don't want to do that, and he's like, destroy him, and Norman's like, yes, okay, how? And he's like, target the things he loves.
Like that Xbox.
Get the Xbox.
He just starts destroying his material possessions.
Yeah, he walks in his room, his giant pencil is snapped in half. He's like, no!
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, God,
the race car bends on cinder blocks. He took the wheel.
He's like, oh, I can't go on. Oh, God. Yeah.
And then the elements now say a message you are dumb. Yeah.
GG.
GG.
Sweet old lady, Aunt May, crouched in front of her bed. Picture of her dead husband on the fucking bed in front of her, a little 2x2 picture frame. She's doing the Lord's Prayer, just very quietly doing the Lord's Prayer, and just with zero warning, the window behind her explodes.
Yeah.
She's oh,
okay.
Jesus! Just fucking fire
Yeah.
everywhere. Deliver us! Deliver us! And he's like, finish it! Finish it! And she's like, from evil! And he's like, yeah!
Yeah, his response really is yeah!
He's just really buying into it, from evil. It's so fucking ridiculous. He does not kill her or anything, but she's, just fucking in the hospital.
I think this is her in the hospital, and she's just still and then Peter's like, what? Is she going to be okay? What's wrong? And she's like, yeah.
Green, God, Jesus, explosions, fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And
yeah, she's fucking 70.
And then I guess hours go by, and then Peter is now sitting at her bedside, comforting her while she is asleep in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And MJ's come by to check on Aunt May.
Right.
And her and Peter then get to chatting. And she's like, yeah, I just don't think that I can be with Harry anymore after that interaction. And to tell you the truth, there's somebody else who I think I'm in love with.
And Peter's just
yeah?
Who you talking about? And also talk about him to me.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to know what you think about him, who is not me.
Yeah, and then she's like, it's Spider-Man. He saved me, and
Twice.
I love him. And he's like, yeah. Well, I take pictures of Spider-Man, and he talks about you.
To me, we talk all the time. He's my bestie.
And then he more or less reads poetry to her, and she's just
he spits mad game to MJ there.
She's like, what does Spider-Man say about me? He's like, you're so pretty. You're so talented.
You should date Peter Parker.
You should really date Peter Parker.
Talented.
And then they briefly hold hands, which is when
for
Harry
about 0.5 seconds. Yeah. Before marriage, too. Holy shit.
I know.
And Harry walks through the door and sees this.
At that moment, Harry walks to the door and he's just like, oh. He's like fucking Walter Whiting or whatever. And like, goddamn. Of course, Aunt May has heard all of this and she's like smiling in her fucking,
she's pretending to be in a coma.
Yeah, right. Just creeping on these poor kids.
And then Harry then leaves and goes home to Papa. And it's like, Peter stole my girlfriend. And he's like, Peter Parker.
Peter... He did what now?
And
Somebody
like,
else.
Peter Parker. And Norman Osborn's like, it'll be okay, son.
Oh, you
The
know.
very same we are.
Focus on your bag. Buy crypto. Buy an NFT.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Invest in Dogecoin.
They have a hug, and he's like, I'll go finish this, son.
Yeah, right. What do you mean by that? Dad?
What?
Say that? What? No. Say that. What are you doing? Like,
No, don't worry about it.
don't worry. You're going to go finish what now?
My favorite color's blue.
Under no circumstances will my favorite color ever be green.
Green. Don't associate green with me at
Yeah,
all.
right. You think he's the Green Goblin because the fart gas was green?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, God
checks
forbid
out.
it was a neutral color.
Yeah, right. The brown
gray goblin.
Gray goblin. The white goblin. You know. So.
And I don't know if this is supposed to be like another day where Peter's at the hospital or what. But anyway, Peter is at the hospital with Aunt May. And then he's like sitting at the bedside talking to Aunt May. And she's like, oh, you have to protect the things you love or something like that. And then he's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
and then he goes to like frantically use the payphone to call her. And it goes to her voicemail. He calls with the payphone. He's like, MJ, are you there? Why, even though he's like clearly like talking to like the answering machine. So clearly she's like not there or can't answer the phone.
It's like, don't walk down any dark alleys.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then
the
the phone gets picked up and you're and he's like, where is she? And I think he might even be like, on the bridge, come meet me.
Come meet me.
Green Goblin's just like, in a well-lit alley.
Yeah, right.
Those are safe.
Yeah, right.
Careful what you
You
wish
shouldn't
for.
assume things about alleys,
Yeah.
Peter. Looks can deceive.
And so then Mary Jane wakes up on the top of a bridge.
Yeah, we were talking about that. She just like wakes up and it's just completely like, groggy and disoriented.
Yeah.
And like just almost
Almost
walks
falls
off the
off.
fucking
Almost
bridge
eats
it.
and dies.
Luckily, she didn't like half wake up and try to shuffle for some water.
Falls off and dies.
Man, I
Yeah, like how
terribly last
Yeah,
night.
right,
I'm so
yeah.
thirsty.
Yeah, right. So we were talking about that. Like, how ruined would the Green Goblin's plan be if she just
Yeah,
fallen off right
that
there?
really
He'd
fucks
have
up
to
his
save
choices
her
kind
to
of
bring
thing.
her back to the top of the bridge and be like, you shouldn't die yet.
Yeah, right. Spider-Man pulls up and he's just like, "What? I know how this looks. I was not trying to kill her yet. Like, do you have like a third person that you care about that I can try and like hold over you? Like, I'm running out of
You
options.
should get more
here.
friends.
Yeah,
Is
right.
there no other girls at school that you've been even remotely?
Wow, you're kind of fucking lame. Yeah.
But yeah, so then Spider-Man does his Spider-Man thing and gets over to the bridge where Green Goblin has like a cable car full of children and, in one hand, and then
everyone
Mary
knows
Jane
New York
in the
has
other.
its nightly children cable
car.
Yeah.
You know.
Offense.
Yeah,
So-
and he's just more or less like, hey, okay, I'm going to drop both of these now, and you have to pick, because I am evil. Ha ha ha.
The love of your life. On the other hand, I've got a cable car full of young children.
The children of strangers.
Right, so who are you gonna save, huh? A bunch of children or your love? And Spider-Man's like, option C, and of course he saves them both.
Yeah.
Because he's Spider-Man.
Like, he doesn't even ask, like, what percentage of the child population is accounted for in this tram car to even, like, try to hash it out.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like, how many of the... What? Oh, well, I'm just saying.
Oh, 9 children, that's expensive.
That's the question. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's acceptable. I don't know what the number is, but we should at least know the number before you start to think about it.
Is MJ worth, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Doing that, I was like, kinda fucked up.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's like, how many children are in New York, though? Really?
Yeah.
I'm running some quick numbers in my head. Like, how
Got a
good
tram
would I
car.
feel if I save MJ and let, like, 7 kids? 7's not a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Right.
What school are those kids from? no, you tell me. What school are those kids from? Like, okay.
You know, what's the demographic in there?
Jesus Christ, Spider-Man, yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
You're the bad guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, he drops off the belt, and Spider-Man swings around and grabs MJ and grabs the fucking cart of kids, and he's like, just in a really precarious situation. He's holding MJ. MJ's clinging to him. He's got his web attached to the bridge in one hand.
And it's slipping, baby.
Yeah, it's hard.
Boat come and collect these like victims or whatever before they all die, and the Green Goblin doing like flybys, like
trying to attack Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like it. He's not like committing to really trying to like pry his hands off or anything. Like he's just like, oh, one punch should do it.
Yeah, like,
all right, I'll come back by for another
two punches this time. Yeah, I'm building up to it.
You can't hold on through three.
And then finally, when he does decide, you know what? Enough toying around. It's time for me to break out the big guns. And by big guns, I mean the big knives that stick out of his glider.
The bayonets.
And right when he's about to do his impaling, he gets hit with trash.
Yeah, right.
And then the rest of the people in the city are like, hey, this is New York. You don't fuck with us.
Hey, yeah, forget about it. Hey, mister, we're fucking walking here on the fucking Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, forget about it.
Spider-Man's like, they really like me. And they're like, no, those are our collective children in the tram car.
Oh, you fucking Green Goblin motherfucker. You're blowing this shit up. Hey, it's already tough enough to get to one place to another fucking dickhead.
Yeah, no supervillain can overpower
This
like
is New
50
York.
citizens of New York.
They're just like, everyone go grab some fucking trash, and they just go into the streets of New York because there's trash everywhere. They just start chucking banana peels and shit at the Green Goblin.
It's like, where are we going to find loose bricks on the Brooklyn Bridge?
Right.
Oh, my bad. Look, right over here. There's a pile of loose bricks.
Yeah, right. So they fucking, the Sopranos are there, of course.
So they do their thing, and then the Green Goblin then grabs Spider-Man and says, "You're coming with me."
Right. Yeah. It's like a long exchange. It's like the Green Goblin's doing passes. He's like trying to get MJ down the thing. She's like scared and pissing herself.
Yeah, she's doing worse than the children.
Right. He does some
they're chilling, but she's not.
Yeah. He like does like a fucking backflip and drops the cable car and then grabs it again and grabs his wire, and it's just like, oh my god, man, you're playing it fucking fast and loose.
Tell me about it.
Like, it's ridiculous.
But he's managing. He manages it.
Yeah, he gets it done.
Yeah, and so then he starts getting whipped
with the crucial
across.
assist from like 50 New Yorkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very true. That's like a, New York loves to just like fucking just jerk itself off.
Right.
Yeah, it's New York, baby.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say like.
I'm surprised the Green Goblin didn't look at the Statue of Liberty and be like, "She's the same color as me."
Wow, the greatest city on earth! Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly.
It's just fucking like I saw like, this is a complete aside, but I went and saw like Hamilton like on Broadway like a month ago with my family, and there's just an entire song in there dedicated to just jerking off New York and just be like the greatest city in the world. It's like, oh, all right, we fucking get it. Yeah. Holy shit! Find someplace else to put your
nation's
garbage.
capital, Philadelphia.
But yeah, so the Green Goblin snatches Spider-Man, and they go to like.
Oh yeah, he just finds like an abandoned building and just like fucking like throws him through a brick wall.
Yeah, it's like the perfect arena for like this goofy ass like final like showdown or whatever. They're in like a decrepit fucking like building.
And Spider-Man gets his shit kicked in. Like he goes through a wall and then probably goes through another wall, and then like just when he like catches his breath, he has like a pumpkin bomb explode in his face.
Right in his face.
Yeah. Like it has a close up of his eye and the reflection of the pumpkin bomb in his pupil, and it has like a slow motion effect of his face getting like fucking obliterated.
Yeah, right. He gets like thrown through brick walls.
Like at least two or three of them. Yeah. And then Green Goblin comes down, and then just like Spider-Man just like the most pathetic weekly like trying to defend himself just gets again his shit just rocked. He's like, I'm gonna stop you, Green Goblin, and then he's just like, just getting his shit fucked.
Yeah, it's just tough.
And then the Green Goblin makes the fatal mistake of trash talking, and is like, "Yeah, you see that girl that you like? I'm gonna kill her." And then Spider-Man's like, "Yeah," and then turns the tide. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he goes real like Hulk Hogan on him and beats his ass.
Chucks him to like this. He like throws him against this like brick wall, and then web slings like the top of the brick wall and like pulls it down on top of him and just like slams on top of him. Yeah, right. And the Green Goblin, of
good.
course, like the wall just shatters on top of him. He like pushes his fucking hand out and like pulls himself up.
And then I think he just like throws him somewhere else, starts like beating the fuck out of him. And then that's when he changes from his raspy Green Goblin voice to his Norman
Peter,
Osborn. Like,
stop!
Peter, no, it's me, Norman.
Take
and then he's
the
like,
mask off.
huh? And then he's like, Peter, the Goblin is a different person from me. I'm being controlled to some effect. I always knew that you would help me. And yeah. And then he pushes a button on his wristband, and you see the glider be like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, right. He's
and
like no, Spider-Man, don't listen to him. He's snaking you.
Yeah.
He's unhinged.
Yeah, it's like a real like Dora the Explorer. Like, no, Spider-Man, no.
Right.
Like you just want to scream at the screen.
Yeah, right. You fool.
Then Norman's like, you're my real son. And then Spider-Man's like, I have a father.
And his name was Ben.
Okay, well then,
die, I guess.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man's spider senses do their spider sense and
For the first time in like a second in this movie.
Yeah, they came in clutch here.
Yeah, right.
He does a sick backflip, avoiding the javelin spikes on the end of the glider, which then
impale.
Norman.
He pulls a Frieza on himself. Like he like throws the fucking death donut and comes back and chops him in half, and he's like ah.
Yeah.
Right, slams him into the wall, and he just collapses, just right in the fucking nads. Too.
Yeah.
Like damn.
And his final words are just like, "Don't tell Harry."
Harry can't know.
About how I died. Tell him the Green Goblin all you want, but don't tell him about this.
Right, exactly. Tell him, I want him to learn from me. Not all women are thoughts.
Right.
I'm just sexist. And just dies. And Spider-Man's
I like to think like Spider-Man's spider senses were working perfectly well. Like when Aunt May was about to get bombed and stuff like that. But like whatever situation he was in the real world, he thought it was applying to that. So like he was about to go like grab a pot off the stove without wearing like an oven mitt.
Yeah,
like
right.
his spider senses went off. Yeah, exactly. And he's
Right,
like,
right.
thank God for these senses.
Yeah, right.
Really looking out for me. Yeah.
clutch,
Meanwhile,
thank
Aunt
God.
May is just like, I'm evil.
Yeah.
You know?
Evil! It's just so fucking ridiculous. So
It's just like, oh, thank God for oven mitts and spider senses.
the Geeb Goblin dies, and he picks up his body and brings him to the fucking apartment. Of course, like Harry pulls up right there. And he's just like, "What did you do to my father?" And he's just like, Spider-Man disappears.
It's like, don't tell Harry. He's like, let me take you to Harry's house.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's fucking. I'm not gonna.
Tell him.
Walks in, drops off that guy's dead father. Does not elaborate. Leaves. the Sigma Peter.
Then we have the funeral of
Yeah.
Norman Osborn and Harry. The irony of it all is like, Peter, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
Can't wait to find Spider-Man.
I fucking hate Spider-Man.
But you, Peter,
You're my best friend.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for being here for me, and also not killing my father.
Right.
It'd be really fucked up. And Peter's like, ha, yeah, true.
Yeah, and then Mary Jane is like, Peter,
I realize I love you.
And
then
love
he's
you.
like,
I
Mary
really
Jane,
love you. You're
we
my
can't be together because I have responsibility.
You're my he friend zones her so hard. She
Yeah, and she cries. It's fucked.
She goes all fucking out for it too. She has this long spiel, and she's like, I was like thinking when I was hanging upside down there and thinking that I was gonna die, I wasn't thinking about who I thought I was thinking about. I was thinking God, I wish I could see Peter Parker one more time. I wish I could see.
God, I wish I could just go to one more Bonesaw match.
I wish I could see what's the fucking bully's name?
Flash
I wish I could see
Thompson.
Flash one more time. I'm getting back together with Flash. Thanks, Pete. And fucking Pete just again Sigma. He's just like, you're my best friend. And she's just like, only friends, and he's like, yeah, see ya, and just walks. That's all I can give, and fucking walks off. And that's
And then Danny Elfman music plays as Spider-Man swings through New York.
Yeah. And fucking swings at the camera, and then just the most
Credits roll.
2000 ass credit music of all time. It's like Creed or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just blasting. Yeah, right. yeah. It's so ridiculous, and it's just
So
we also there was a Stan Lee cameo for about
of course,
3
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, actually, this
He did say be small. He's literally. It's not even like really show. He like pulls a kid for like a.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like in all the Marvel movies, like he has his cameos and like it's a big deal. Everybody's like, oh, there's a Stan Lee cameo, which I guess I'm much more used to the later Marvel movies where I guess like it became more of a pop culture thing, so they kind of like made a bigger deal of it. But yeah, in this one, it's like he's there for like 2 frames.
Just yoinks a kid. Yeah, right. He's just a Chad like that, Stan Lee, and then that's and then.
America, you only need 2 frames to save a child's life.
So true. You fucking perfect input and save a child. Step one wave dash. Step 2. Hell yeah.
So I feel like we've already touched on this a great deal. And if our tone did not indicate this, I don't know what else could. But was that an enjoyable movie?
Oh, I hated it. Like the first 7 times, it's gold and it never gets old. But then you find out the 8th time, it gets old.
Right?
Really?
No.
I was like, okay. I mean, that's not how I feel.
It's just tough, because you meet some cool sounding guys on Twitter and they invite you on to like their podcast. Like, hey, let's go watch this movie. So you have some sort of like expectation that they're gonna choose a decent movie. Just choose some fucking horse shit. Yeah. Goddamn cape shit. Put on like fucking Leo Tucholsky's Stalker or some shit. That's some Sued shit, That's what I'm here for. No, it was great. It was just really fucking fun. Like Sam Raimi knows how to make just goofy ass like kinetic movies and direct them like in just a really fun way. Constantly there's like shit going on that's like entertaining.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
It's just
Sam
really
Raimi knows how to make some fun movies.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, like it's just in time for the Thanksgiving season.
Very true. The spirit of family and like he accepts that Uncle Ben was his father all along, and like
Lord knows that I'm going to be getting some turkey after this podcast.
And I'm gonna
what do you mean by that?
I don't know.
And I'm
Is that
gonna go
innuendo?
find
No, not at all.
the frailest, most vulnerable elderly woman I can, holding a
beat
can
her
of
with
cranberry
a can of
sauce,
cranberry
and I'll beat her for that cranberry sauce, just like Spider-Man.
My hero.
Anyone can be Spider-Man.
Would fight the elderly for any cranberry sauce can.
Right,
I was Spider-Man probably 4 years in a row for Halloween when I was a kid. I love Spider-Man.
Classic.
Yeah.
I was the Green Goblin for 4 years in a row.
You guys are just destined.
It's a good thing we never crossed paths, or that would have been Harry.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I was Spider-Man 1 year.
Yeah,
but not just like on Halloween. Like I was just Spider-Man
for a year.
Solid year. Yeah, I wore that costume outside of Halloween circumstances.
Right. But it's just like an entertaining ass movie to watch. Like it was just very easy to fucking crack jokes. Or I don't know, the way things were shot. Every single fight scene had something interesting going on. Like he smashes his head through one window and smashes it through another window, or does a backflip or
fucking windmilled into a cage.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire is just he just is. Peter Parker sucks, and Tobey Maguire make sure to make you know that because that's
the thing that's especially so funny too, because I really think because of course we're talking a hell of a lot of how doofy Peter is, and I think a big part of that is 2000s, ha ha ha. But I think a big part of it is that I think it was intentional that Sam Raimi is Spider-Man's cool as shit. But Peter Parker, look at this fucking nerd. He just gets shit after shit handed to him for the first 20 minutes of the movie, and
Tobey Maguire's mouth, unknown to us until this moment, is actually pretty firmly shut most times. So the director was just there, diligent as ever. No, slightly agape.
Hey, open that mouth.
Slightly agape.
Yeah, slightly agape. This is characterization.
Yeah. You look like you're dumbfounded by just basic motor function.
Yeah, which I'd say that probably with Norman Osborn becoming more of a piece of shit throughout the movie. I think that's also him probably in the beginning he's kind of whatever. He's a nice enough guy. He's a rich guy, but he clearly
cares about his son
and has
caring,
But then he takes the serum that is fucking non-tested and then literally becomes a supervillain, and then that kind of just slowly corrps his actual personality.
His family life.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's just,
so I wouldn't go as far as to say that. He was always secretly a misogynist piece of shit. and it's just that like kind of came out with like
right.
The,
he's also
the
like
corruption of
the
his
more green he became. Yeah.
He's just also definitely got some heavy resentment about his wife. Like that's a.
What's the story with the wife? Do we know? Did she just die?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the way that he presented it was like she left him
half
or
his
something
money
for
or
half his
something.
money. So it's like, damn.
Damn you.
Yeah, right. I'm now going to seethe about this for the rest of my life. Like,
Don't you want to see your kid? No.
Like, what were your favorite like parts of the movie? Like, if
all right, let me think. I definitely like. One of my favorites is just like the various New York extras.
That is really
just like
fun,
the cut between all of them. Just like Spider-Man. Yeah, so my cousin knows him or some shit. Yeah, like those fucking people. I love that scene beyond all. Every time it comes up, I'm just like, hell yeah, this part's the best.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Great. So that part always does it for me. Just a lot of fun there. Anything with J. Jonah Jameson, of course, just absolute gold.
Every single word he says.
The Daily Bugle, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the office. I like the staff at the office, from the assistant to like the other fellow who's just like, when we put Spider-Man on there, we sold a bunch of copies. It's just like that's cheap for like the photos or whatever. Like I like that. I like Uncle Ben's actor.
Yeah, he does do a good job.
So there's like some just like disgustingly wholesome stuff whenever him and him for like when he's alive. So,
right.
I'm a big fan of like all his like kind of folksiest kind of like, but he's like putting in a light bulb and he's like, and let there be light. And I'm like, oh, Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Your phone is lime green and your walls are sky blue. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, man, for sure.
More power.
I'd say my favorite part is probably like that ending fight scene in the building where like Spider-Man's just getting his shit rocked.
Yeah.
And then like and then when he then turns the tables, like that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
True.
Like it's well choreographed. I love all the like just like breaking through shit and stuff.
Right.
It's fun. Yeah.
I've
always really liked that.
Yeah, my favorite scene. I don't think I'll ever forget fucking Flash getting punched flying across the room and having the pudding dumped on his face. Like, just get out of here, man.
It seems like part of it was supposed to be like staged in a kind of way that it like Flash like moved at this guy at such a velocity that he had to like suddenly step back and like dropped his tray, but it looked like he took one casual step backwards and then just dumped it. Whoops! He's like, he startled me, Flash.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But it looks like he just like it's just like
yeah. Lo and behold, that was another guy who had been bullied by Flash. And was
yeah.
It's also just like the real villain of the movie was the guy who took one bite out of his jelly donut and took another bite out of another one.
Yeah, he's the real mastermind.
Yeah. Oh, fortunately, whoever that actor is, I hope he's I hope he's in a movie somewhere where he's not being used as like the measuring stick of the lowest of low.
Yeah, right.
Like,
hell, I'd even be that guy.
Yeah, I'd even take that guy over my position. And nobody would want to be that guy under average or even slightly lower than average circumstances.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think the best way I could describe this movie is just like quintessential early 2000s cheese. Like, I don't know. It's just everything feels like that period of time. The way every character is dressed, the hairs and the hairstyle of this movie is just so ridiculous.
God, yeah. I don't want to fight you. I wouldn't want to fight me neither. Like that's like so 2000s. I love it.
High school, man. It's a trip.
It's a beautiful time.
Absolutely beautiful.
Where the person you become is the person you're gonna be for the rest of your life. So there's a little bit of a horrifying sentiment, actually. So,
yeah.
This is from Chris Carlson. I didn't even get a chance to read the whole review, which I'll read the whole thing, but I truly only wanted to read this review because of this first sentence.
Okay.
And it reads, a disclaimer. My name is Jaden C. Carlson, and I'm reviewing this movie from my mom's account. Well, what can I say about this movie that hasn't been said already? It's a classic, especially at the time it was made. It blew away any previous adaptation of The Wall Crawler away with ease. The film has an amazing J. John Jameson and Norman Osborn / Green Goblin, maybe the best ever versions outside of animation. It also has perhaps the best version of Uncle Ben and his part in Peter Parker's story arc to date. Peter's friendship with Harry Osborn, as well as his relationship with his aunt, uncle, and J. Jameson, are excellently handled in this movie as well. The writing and dialogue in this film are very sharp. The plotting is very well paced, and it has some awesome action scenes. The camera work is well done and resulted in a film that I don't know if I could say looked pitch perfect by today's standards. but still looks pretty good after nearly 20 years since it was first released in theaters.
Right.
My only major problems with the movie and the franchise in general is Peter's relationship with Mary Jane. This has been touched upon before, so let me just say that through the course of the trilogy as a whole, the writers were doing very specific things with their relationship, but it unfortunately didn't help fans of the comic versions of the couple, in my opinion, even though I don't read comics normally. I think that this movie, they should have replaced MJ with Gwen Stacy, and they should have had her killed by the Green Goblin, like in the comics, which I think Sam Raimi would actually have handled brilliantly.
Sure.
So you probably got my take on MJ in the film from that. Overall, I think that Spider-Man is a great film for any superhero fan at all.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want to know what the age of this person is, because that was like a genuinely well-written
Why are they on
thing.
their mom's
Yeah,
account?
why are they reviewing it on their mom's account?
They just
They
don't
just
want
know
to put
what's
their
up,
email in.
Yeah.
They just know what's up.
I was looking, and I found like a lot of like well-written long-form reviews. But I found, like you said, a review that had just a killer first sentence. So, by Steve K on Letterboxd, 5-star. It's one of his favorite movies. Spider-Man 2002 rewatched September 11th, 2020. Today is September 11th. In honor of those New Yorkers who lost so much on this day, I thought, what is my favorite movie set in NYC? Answer, Spider-Man. Not only is it set in NYC, it was also filmed in 2001, so it serves as a time capsule. This is one of my favorite movies from my youth. Great acting, casting, music, and special effects.
Wow.
I mean, he's got the spirit, I guess. Just honoring 9/11 by watching Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm going to have
days.
to make this my yearly tradition
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
9/11 on
I just like to
or watch
imagine this person
Spider-Man.
to
I
all
almost said
their
watch
friends.
9/11 on Spider-Man.
Man, it's a real-
9/11. Oh yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it. Yeah, I'm gonna.
God, I'm feeling real bummed
Pay my
out.
respects.
Yeah,
Pay
by
respects.
watching fucking Spider-Man.
Back to formula.
Back to formula.
Do you know how much I've sacrificed?
He said the
I'm
thing.
something of a scientist myself.
Just like every
so
scene,
that
he's
was-
just like back to formula. It was a national tragedy. Like, what are you supposed to do?
It's a 9/11 cut.
Yeah, right. And then just fucking Spider-Man swinging through the city, and they took out the Twin Towers. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
sweet
Yeah, I am.
Christ.
Man, how lucky are they that the Twin Powers didn't play any big role in like anything that's
doing-
going
What's going on? The Green Goblin's going after the Twin
Green Goblin-
Towers.
the Green Goblin
gonna
just blew a
destroy
hole
the Twin Towers.
The Green Goblin just threw a bomb at the Twin Towers. Like, yikes! Ooh, Norman.
Which one? Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah, right. The steel beams are melting. Wait a second. Hold on. Pumpkin bombs can't melt steel beams.
Unbelievable. Pumpkin bombs can't melt.
Right.
We all know.
Follow the
this is a
money,
fact.
Spider-Man.
We all know this is a fact.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anyway, so your
why?
5-star review.
Yeah, let's hear it. All right, so we
Yeah,
have
you know, we can
return reviewer Rohit Bhattacharya 007.
How are we looking on the iPad?
It was an hour last time.
Oh
An
my
hour has
God.
passed, so
You're a
I
menace.
do have to try again.
You're such a menace.
No, Rohit here probably just has a good, long 5-star. I'm sure it has nothing to do with 9/11, which in retrospect
Aw.
is probably a big shame. But out of respect for Rohit, 007, and the constant reviews that they get on here, I will read their opinions on Spider-Man 2002 for all of us. Rohit really is like the unspoken fourth member of this group right now. All right, Rohit, take it away. Spider-Man is the first film which I watched in my life when I was only 4 years old.
Holy shit.
I enjoyed this film a lot. After it was released in the year 2002, it is almost 18 years later, and it is still amazing. Tobey Maguire is still the best Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland are also amazing, but still, they can't be able to beat him. With great power comes great responsibilities.
Yes!
Tobey showed the full potential of both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. It also showed human nature. Even when Peter got his power, he bit Flash in school, saved MJ, saved MJ and her lunch. He was slowly getting corrupted by the power and went to the wrestling match to buy a car to impress MJ by lying to his aunt and uncle that he was going to the library. He let a criminal escape just because he didn't get his money and disrespected Uncle Ben, and unfortunately, that was the last time he ever talked to his uncle. But the death of his uncle was the main turning point in Peter's life, from where he learned that with great power comes great responsibility.
He says it twice in the same review. Yeah. Holy shit.
The appearance of Green Goblin was awesome, and that's why we should never keep the ego in ourselves, because when Norman heard that they should be back to formula, he got angry and experimented that for himself, for which he got
experimented that for himself.
he got experimented that for himself, for which he got two personalities. One is himself, and another one is Green Goblin.
No.
This is a perfect example of a cult classic movie. This contains too many OP scenes, which are completely unforgettable, like the Green Goblin versus Spider-Man first fight scene in that Festival of Oscorp scene. You know how much I sacrificed scene when Spider-Man was saving himself from those Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs with blades in the building covered with fire. The first appearance of both Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson, go Web go, the canteen scene when he got bitten by the radioactive spiders. I don't know what the canteen scene is either. The canteen scene when he got bitten by the radioactive spider scene. The fight scene between Flash and Pete
I watched the fucking movie already. Like, you ain't gotta do all this.
Climbing wall for the first time when Spidey saved both MJ and those kids. That ultra iconic kissing scene. After watching that scene, I decided that when I'll be successful to make a girlfriend, I'll kiss her for at least one time in my life like that. The climax.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Goblin died in iconic way when we understood that not only Peter but MJ was also in love with Peter. When Harry got the illusion that Spider killed his father. When Green tried to turn Spider.
Why is he just listing off every fucking scene in the movie? Like, just say you like the whole thing. Holy shit.
Oh, God. All right. When Harry got the illusion that Spider killed his father, when Green tried to turn Spider into a bad guy, that gets together scene, etc. These are some scenes which we can't forget. And its iconic last web-swinging scene, of course not. And I don't have any single complaint about this movie. Not even by his natural web shooters, because what kind of spider powers he get if he has to use artificial web shooters? And the best thing is it gives us too many iconic scenes in a very short time. When it started and when it finished, we couldn't even realize. And it's the opening credit scene, and that music is the most iconic credit scene and credit music ever. 7 people found this helpful.
Wow. Shit.
I love Rohit.
Add 3, because I learned a great deal about this
the
movie.
best.
You can start to fucking put together this guy's entire life story through his reviews. His first movie was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man at 4 years old.
At 4 years old. Okay, write that down. Put that on the timeline.
If he has ever had a girlfriend at this point in life, we know that he has at least attempted to kiss her upside down.
I wonder, what does he
once.
mean by he fucking finds a situation which he could hang upside down like that, and he's like, okay, babe, kiss me right now. Yeah. And she's like, what? He puts on like a fucking balaclava, and I was like, okay, babe, pull down the mask. Yeah, and she's like, what? She's like, just do it and kiss me on the mouth, please. And like, all right, cool.
I just like how he it's just like, if I'm ever successful in getting a girlfriend,
yeah.
I have one goal in mind, really. That's to do that. I suppose the simplest way would be if you have a bed that has legs, you know. Try doing one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And then just waterboard yourself.
Oh, so true. Yeah, you gotta make it off
because you gotta do the rain, right? So just put a towel over your face and then just splash some water.
He just hires some goons to try and assault his girlfriend. He just beats him up, and she's like, okay, just
get out of here.
Yeah, he runs to the alleyway. She's like, babe, what the fuck are you doing?
Go. I'll see you at school. Go.
Just hold it. Just kiss me. She's like, what the? You're insane.
So I only had the one review, so I don't know.
I've got my 1 star locked and loaded.
Go for it.
All right, cool. So, look through a bunch, and so blah, 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 etc., etc. But I found this other 1 star on Letterboxd by Beth. Spider-Man 2002, watched January 3rd, 2021. This is all lowercase, by the way. pulled a mentally ill Spidey shuffle and watched one of each of the Spider-Man franchises in one sitting, which is just an insane fucking sentence to start your review with.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire gets last place in my Spider-Man rankings, and I know this is a hot take, space exclamation point. I have technically never seen this movie all the way through. But one time when I was 6, I went to a Greek Easter at my cousin's neighbor's house. Extremely fun vibes. And all of the kids were inside watching this movie. And I remember the part where a shard of glass flies into someone's eye. And it was so gross I threw up and had to sit out capture the flag. Also, I don't looking at blue eyes for too long. They seem untrustworthy. And Tobey Maguire is just like 2 blue fire emojis. This whole movie, flop. No likes yet. So, there you go. She snaps.
I don't remember any scene where glass goes in someone's eye.
This has got to be like a joke review, like, or maybe they're just insane. I also found this other one. That's 3 stars on just Google.
Go for it.
I could not find any good 1-star reviews on Google, but 3 stars. The story tells the same old story. Peter gets bitten by a radioactive spider, yada yada yada, and the webs don't come from an external source is a genetic trait which always gave me the creeps. Despite how much I've been criticizing it for one sentence, it was really smart to make a film starring the classic superhero. The effects are really impressive for 2002, and if you compare it to something like 2000's Dinosaur, you can see which is better. And in many ways, this film is influential. Let me count the ways if you don't believe me. It spawned a video game series.
Wow.
I think those existed before this movie.
Part
it's
1.
incredibly financial. Sure. Paved the way for practical effects and CGI. Influences other Spider-Man movies down the line. 5 out of 10, honestly. I could go harsher on this movie, but I can't because of all the honestly great things it's done for film, and for that I have lots of respect for Spider-Man. And it is enjoyable in the same way as The Room or Click. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. This movie's far better than that shit.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's brutal.
That is brutal.
All right, so first off, we have a fake out from Arn Orion the Explorer.
Sure.
Which says, 1 star. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was fantastic, and I will recommend some movies which are also fantastic.
Oh, Lord.
These are A-Team, Pirates of the Caribbeans, World War Z, Man in Black, and many more.
And many more. This dude just starts listing off like family-friendly action
This is the
movies.
definition of like guy who's only seen one movie.
Yeah,
like,
seeing
this
a lot
is really
of
giving me Spider-Man
This
vibes.
is really giving me Boss Baby vibes, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's Joseph Trafford.
All right, this guy hates Spider-Man.
I really hate this movie. I hated it when Spider-Man ate all those burgers and got a bunch of cholesterol and died.
Oh, I saw this one. Yeah.
The worst part was when Luke Skywalker killed his brother, and then the Red Power Ranger placed taps on a dead pig's eyes.
So
I'm only giving it 1 star because of the fight scene in the middle of the movie when Spider-Man was turned into ashes after Bill Gates killed him with a trumpet with a bomb in it. Then Spider-Man's ashes turned into a goat and sang Surfing Bird.
I want to know the age of this person, frankly.
Yeah, Joseph Trafford. I don't know if this is like... I don't know what this is.
He huffed fucking the Green Goblin gas.
Yeah,
and,
that's like
just
the
going
epitome of
insane.
the attempt of like random comedy.
Yeah,
That's what
right.
that is. God bless.
I like skipped that one on purpose. I was like, you're trying way too hard for this
Yeah,
one.
a bit. What did you say?
Uh-huh.
I prefer the fellow who just listed some terrific movies,
Yeah,
including
right.
A-Team, Man in Black, and Pirates of the
Man
Caribbean.
in Black. Fucking World War Z. Holy shit.
With
Most
that,
ascendant.
are we ready to do some ratings?
Yeah, I
so
think
let's
so.
Nail some ratings down.
I think for me, I could go on and on, but
we
I
have
think
indeed done that.
this movie, for people especially in our age range, this movie speaks for itself. And with that, I will just say this is a phenomenal movie that's near and dear to my heart, and for that reason, it gets a out of
pizza time.
And yeah, that's. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said on my end.
Yeah. I guess to that point, I'll say, let's see. Hey, Spidey fans. Looks like old Spider-Man's at it again, discovering his powers, losing those he loves dearly, and trying to balance between fighting the Green Goblin and discovering what it means to care and to love, as he tries to understand with great power comes great responsibility. And because of that, and that very well executed message, I'm going to have to give this a...
Back to formula.
Out of...
Back to formula.
For my childhood and my adulthood.
All right, well, thank you, Stan Lee. Mike, would you like to give a review?
I think it just gets a out of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that's probably as concise as I could put it, considering both you and Stan's opinion.
So true, yeah. I mean, hey, as all these guys have mentioned so far, thank God Stan Lee coming in from beyond the grave to give his opinion on his own franchise.
Yeah, thank you.
Might be a little
I know
bit
that it was not easy to pencil you in, but we appreciate you coming out, Stan.
He's gone.
He dipped.
Damn. Yeah, I guess our seance only lasted so long.
Yeah, it's fickle.
Yeah,
really.
right. He's an expensive man to book, you know.
It's hard to stay in the spider mind.
Very true. Yeah, so as someone who has not had any experience with this version of Spider-Man before, who's never sat down and actually watched the whole thing front to back, I can say that this movie was, just as good as everyone made it out to be. It's corny, it's cheesy, it's fucking stupid and goofy and all over the place, and it's just really, really good. Funny, action-packed, always something interesting, shot really well. Sam Raimi snapped, and so I mean, I guess there's nothing more to say than I wholeheartedly give this movie a out of. And that's all I have to say about it.
I'll accept that. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. As far as I can see, it seems fair to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very well said. And Jack, before we wrap this up, is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Oh yes. I mean, yeah, my name is Jack. You can find me, I guess, primarily like on Twitter. At my ad is yeah sure. So it's YY yeah sure, all one word. There'll probably be links and descriptions and such. I also have a YouTube channel and a YouTube video that I have started to work on and then stopped working on for the past year or so. That'll maybe eventually come out.
Don't I know
That's a feeling story.
Yeah, classic. So, I mean, you were there for the genesis of that.
Yeah.
Forever
as
ago.
you were also there for the genesis of mine.
Yeah. So maybe that'll come out eventually. So you can same thing on YouTube. Yeah, sure. All one word, 2 Y's. I guess other than that, just be kind to each other and fucking support each other, and I don't know, be good people, support local businesses. Follow me on Twitter.com because I'm funny occasionally.
Baby.
Yeah, right. That's all I gotta plug.
Why don't I ever get plug time on the show, Nate? What's this all about?
Would you like to plug anything?
What? No. Go check out my mom's band.
True.
Yeah, and with that, we hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving for this Thanksgiving extravaganza. If you're listening to this at a time of year where Thanksgiving has come and passed, listen to this again on Thanksgiving,
right?
And have a good evening or whatever time of day it is.
And to know that with your Spider-Man watching ritual, it can always be Thanksgiving on 9/11.
Oh, so true. And if you have any pictures of Spider-Man, I expect them on my desk by noon.
Yeah, you get stand.
Noon.
Yeah, please tweet us pictures of Spider-Man.
Very true. Yeah,
absolutely.
What's your Twitter?
WTH was that pod.
What the hell was that? Pod at twitter.com. Send pictures of Spider-Man.
Would be a sensible name for that, yeah.
You only have so many characters, Mike.
What?
You only have so many characters.
Yeah.
I think the best of it.
Oh, is that the claim now?
Yeah.
That it was a striving for character conservation. They use
for Twitter.
WTH
for Twitter,
was
yes.
that pod.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye.